It's Eric Crowley, and I'm Gary McNamara, 86690 Red Eye. So I was running errands yesterday, and all of a sudden I got a message from a friend of mine. She wrote, Russia lobs missiles into Poland. This is what I thought to myself. Excuse the language. Holy hell.
Yeah.
First thing to think.
Yeah.
A couple of hours ago, according to Associated Press, U.S. officials' initial findings suggest missile that hit Poland was fired by Ukrainian forces and incoming Russian missiles.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it seemed kind of odd. If Russia's going to do that, what is their game, and why didn't they go bigger if that was Russia?
Top of the Hour News is brought to you by House Products. Visit houseproducts.com.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.
Earn personalized savings on commercial truck insurance with Smart Haul from Progressive. Learn more at progressivecommercial.com. Not available in all states or situations.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 844-94-BIBLE. That's 844-94-BIBLE. 844-94-BIBLE.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Tired of chasing the spot market and high fuel prices? Bring stability to your business with Mercer Transportation. They offer fuel discounts, fast pay after every load, plenty of freight with over 3,100 customers, and over 500,000 loads per year. No company trucks to compete with, and discounts on tires, insurance, and other services. Pick your own loads or let their load coordinators help you find the right freight for your truck. Visit mercertown.com today for more details. That's mercertown.com.
Were you hopeful for less chance of an inspection delay at the roadside in 2021? Compared to the 2020 pandemic year, you were disappointed as inspection likelihood rose from 2020 levels substantially. That's according to the new comprehensive analysis from Overdrive Magazine's decade-long CSA's Data Trail series. But the 2022 series update shows that state truck enforcement departments still aren't back to pre-COVID inspection levels. Learn more about this today. There are some new risks, though, in rising moving violations as well as hours of service detention. You can determine your own roadside risk with 48 state rankings in many inspection and violation categories. Download the full report via overdriveonline.com. Navigate to the regulations section to find the CSA's Data Trail 2022 update. That's overdriveonline.com in the regulations section. And check out CSA's Data Trail 2022 update today.
You know, truck drivers play a critical role in our economy, hauling almost everything we buy. These men and women are the unsung heroes and the backbone of America. When our heroes need support, they turn to the St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund. The St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund is a 501c3 truck driver charity that steps in to cover necessity household items when an injury or illness takes a driver off the road. Learn more and donate today at truckersfund.org. That's truckersfund.org.
News Radio 1440 is WLWI AM and 95.1 HD3 FM of Montgomery, a Cumulus media station. This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. Poland's president says the missile that landed in his country yesterday, killing 2 people, was probably just an unfortunate incident. He says there are no signs it was an intentional attack on his country. More from CBS's Elise Preston.
Poland's president says while it appears the missile is Russian-made, there is no evidence that Russia launched it. 3 U.S. officials told the Associated Press preliminary assessment suggests the missile was fired by Ukrainian forces at an incoming Russian missile. amid a series of Russian strikes near the border.
Former President Trump says 4 years wasn't enough.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
CBS News political analyst Leonard Steinhorn says the speech sounded familiar.
Donald Trump's announcement for president was much like a replay of his greatest hits. Immigration, crime, the border, China, trade, terrorism, the deep state, the swamp. It's what got him elected in 2016, and he's hoping this will carry him back to the White House in 2024.
NASA this morning launched an unmanned capsule to circle the moon.
Boosters in ignition. And liftoff of Artemis 1. We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
Beyond possibly to the red planet, says astronaut Christina Cook.
It's the beginning of the next era. It's the beginning of building on all the lessons of Apollo and taking them even farther, bringing the lessons that we learned on this mission both back to Earth and also applying to even deeper space exploration going on to Mars.
A court appearance scheduled for the man accused of shooting and killing 3 University of Virginia football players Sunday as the bus they were all traveling on pulled into a campus garage at the end of a field trip. More from CBS's Wendy Gillette.
Today, the University of Virginia student accused of killing 3 of the school's football players is set to be arraigned. 22-year-old Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. faces 3 counts each of second-degree murder and of using a handgun in the commission of a felony. 2 other students were also shot and are currently hospitalized. The football team is still deciding if it will play its final 2 games of the season.
Study says more than 1 billion teenagers and young adults may be at risk of hearing loss because of how they listen to music.
Listening to loud music through headphones or earbuds can damage your hearing. So can live music played at super high decibels. The researchers writing in the British Journal of Medicine estimate 1 out of every 4 teens and young adults risks permanent hearing loss as a result.
CBS's Vicki Barker. Futures at this hour are fractionally lower. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
Let's see, something costs less, but people are happier with it. That sounds like something to look into, and that's Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. Very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 866-88-BIBLE. That's 866-88-BIBLE. 866-88-BIBLE.
Disgraced film producer Harvey Weinstein has had several sexual assault charges filed against him dismissed.
Initially, Harvey Weinstein faced 11 counts here in L.A. involving 5 accusers. Now that's been reduced to 7 counts involving 4 accusers. Prosecutors are not giving any explanation after charges involving one of the accusers were dismissed. The remaining counts include 2 counts of rape. Weinstein's already been found guilty in New York of similar charges and sentenced to 23 years in prison. Steve Futterman, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Senate Democrats are moving ahead with a bill that protects same-sex and interracial marriage. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is planning a test vote on the bill today. He thinks at least 10 Republicans will vote with all Democrats to move the legislation forward. The bill would recognize and protect same-sex and interracial marriages nationwide. It's gained support since the Supreme Court overturned the federal right to abortion earlier this year. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Wait. Tell me, where'd you get that money? Oh, man. All this money came from 43money.com right online. Are you saying you went to 43money.com and got all that money you needed fast? Man, you know it. I went to 43money.com yesterday and bam, $5 grand was in my account today. Straight up. Now, hold on. 43money.com helps you get $5K like that? Yeah, man, that's right. 43money.com's lenders provide personal loans for up to $5,000 for people like you and me, even if you don't have good credit. Man, I'm always short on cash. Can 43money.com help me get the money I need fast? If you need extra money fast, go to 43money.com. Just have a checking account and a regular source of income. Go to 43money.com and you can get the loan you need now. Regardless of your credit, go to 43money.com to get the money you need fast. Type www.43money.com directly into your address bar. That's 43money.com. Again, 43money.com. 43money.com.
Gifting season is here. It's not too early to find the perfect presents like the styles every guy loves from Untuckit. Get ahead of your holiday shopping with wrinkle-free shirts, long-sleeve polos, cozy sweaters, and more. Untuckit shirts are designed to be worn untucked, so they help guys to look sharp and feel casual. That's why he'll love unwrapping one of our iconic shirts this year. Now's the time to beat the rush and find the perfect shirt at Untuckit or at over 80 stores. Untuckit, shirts designed to be worn untucked.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Birmingham area attorneys. Office in Birmingham. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers. Online at CordellCordell.com.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barad. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Don't miss Sean Hannity.
Biden incoherently adheres
Live this afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I sell custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters that are easy to install at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are custom-made for your windows, and I guarantee they'll fit. Don't hire a pro, do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Cloudy and cold today. Temperatures struggle to get much above 50. It will be a little breezy as well. And the cold weather continues, more typical of January as opposed to mid-November. Tonight we're down into the mid-30s, partly cloudy. Partly cloudy tomorrow. Temperatures barely get to 50, and we're in the low to maybe mid-50s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with a varying degree of sunshine depending on the day of choice. Overnights, very cold, upper 20s and low 30s.
That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. Is better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery, and we've got a couple of accidents already reported. East-South Boulevard at Court Street, that's a minor accident, and South Boulevard at Narrow Lane. Be careful in both of those areas. Outside of that, we're looking good. Interstate system's moving smoothly with no major problems or slowdowns. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted with the latest and the most accurate traffic conditions on the radio. Fall is here at Premier Place. Shop Big Lots, Burke's Outlet, Michael's, GameStop, Lidmart, and more. The Premier Place in Prattville, another great McClinton and Company development. Buckle up front and back. It's the law from Montgomery Skywatch traffic. This is Major Delay.
Attention River Region listeners. Take advantage of 4 new tires with no money down at Chico's Auto Pros. Montgomery's #1 rated tire store. Chico's Auto Pros.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams with WSFA 12 News. Here's homicides are down. He says there have been fewer homicides in 2022 than the previous year. We thank the community for helping them solve crimes. Provisional ballots were counted yesterday in Watauga County, and voters struck down a proposed tax increase to to benefit area schools. The tax increase would have funded school renovation projects, including construction of a brand new Prattville High School, which had 66 votes separating the yeas from the nays. Watauga County School Superintendent said he's disappointed. Former President Donald Trump has formally launched his 2024 presidential campaign. He made the announcement yesterday from his Mar-a-Lago resort in front of a large crowd and included his wife and family. This will be the former president's third run at the White House. I'm Jasmine Williams, and these are your morning headlines.
Men, are you asking yourself questions like, why am I gaining fat? Why is my energy or sex drive down? And maybe you haven't been getting the exercise you need. If you want to get back to the man you used to be, but just don't have that youthful energy, that edge you once had, you very well might have low testosterone. Low T causes all kinds of issues, from a reduced libido, lower drive, and bad sleep patterns, to problems with muscle gain and bone density, and more. It may even contribute to erectile dysfunction. And if this sounds like you, it's probably time to get treated for your low T. At Montgomery Men's Health, we've treated many men for low T. We've seen them put on muscle, add to their energy, improve their sex lives, get better sleep, and just feel better. Plus, if you're like most men, you'll see results in only a few weeks. So make an appointment today and experience how low testosterone therapy can truly change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. Call today, 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. That's MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
Attention, per the current government mandate, U.S.-based insurers are now required to cover at-home COVID testing kits with no out-of-pocket fees to you. If you have a current insurance plan, you are eligible to receive up to 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to you each month absolutely free, as long as the government mandate is in effect. Just visit testkitforfree.com to register now from the comfort of your own home. That's testkitforfree.com to receive your tests shipped to you at no cost. Go to testkitforfree.com today. Paid for by T-Euro Health.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. It's powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply for your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Navage. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthy. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Birmingham area attorneys. Office in Birmingham. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers. Online at CordellCordell.com.
But we know there's some lawyers that are better than other lawyers. So that's a lie.
Not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on
Good morning, guys.
quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440. Sometimes you need to reset, refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It is time once again to rise and shine and be thankful for another day that you're on top of the ground and the ground's not on top of you. It is time for our daily bread, a word from on high, a word that'll change your perspective or give you a new one. Either way, it's good for the soul. Good morning to you. It is November the 16th, 2022 AD. Today's daily bread is simply entitled Keep Your Guard Up. Our scriptural insight today comes from Deuteronomy 4:1-9. Deuteronomy 4:9 says, be careful and watch yourselves closely. Govern yourselves accordingly. And again, it is November the 16th. It is a day that has never been, and it is a day that shall never, ever come again. And once it's gone, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and do all the things that you should have done today that you don't. And you don't get a chance to come back and undo the things that you do. So whatever you do with this day, November the 16th, 2022, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done this day. If you have lived a while, I tell you every morning, because each day is a new day. It's a new beginning. All things that are old are passed away. But if you've lived a while, you've seen, you've heard many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace, and let's not forget the powerful mercy of God, let's not forget. I can't promise, but maybe, just maybe, we'll see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day. That is the first day of the rest of your life. What are you going to do with it? Well, whatever you do, while you can, for as long as you can, until you can't, reach back and help somebody else along the way. Sometimes a small hand is better than no hand at all. Benjamin Elijah May said, whatever we do in life, we should do it so well, no man living, no man dead, and no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say, if that is the standard by which you live life, you shall always be successful. Oh, you'll fail at a thing or two. We all do. But you're never a failure until you quit. We say, give out if you must, rest only if you can, but never, ever give up. Because quitters don't win. And while winners may fail at a thing or two, because we all do, we'll never be a failure until you quit. Martin Luther King said, if you cannot run, walk. And if you cannot walk, crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. Don't ever give back. Don't ever go back. And no matter what happens to you this day, November the 16th, 2022, remember this. This, like all the days of old, it is a great day to be alive. Keep your guard up. That's our daily bread for this day, November the 16th, 2022. We'll be back. Good morning to you, Montgomery. How you doing?
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Our reading titled, Keep Your Guard Up, was written by Marvin Williams. A man and several friends went through a ski resort gate posted with avalanche warning signs and started snowboarding. On the second trip down, someone shouted, "Avalanche!" But the man couldn't escape and perished in the cascading snow. Some criticized him, calling him a novice, but he wasn't. He was an avalanche-certified backcountry guide. One researcher said that skiers and snowboarders with the most avalanche training are more likely to give in to faulty reasoning. The snowboarder died because he was lulled into letting his guard down. In the book of Deuteronomy, as Israel prepared to go into the promised land, God wanted his people to keep their guard up, to be careful and alert. So he commanded them to obey all his decrees and laws and remember his past judgment on those who disobeyed. They needed to be careful, to examine themselves and keep watch over their inner lives. This would help them keep their guard up against spiritual dangers from without and spiritual apathy from within. It's easy for us to let our guard down and fall into apathy and self-deception, but God can give us strength to avoid falling in life and forgiveness by his grace when we do. By following him and resting in his wisdom and provision, we can keep our guard up and make good decisions. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 1 through 9. Now, Israel, hear the decrees and laws I am about to teach you. Follow them so that you may live and may go in and take possession of the land the Lord, the God of your ancestors, is giving you. Do not add to what I command you, and do not subtract from it, but keep the commands of the Lord your God that I give you. You saw with your own eyes what the Lord did at Baal Peor. The Lord your God destroyed from among you everyone who followed the Baal of Peor. But all of you who held fast to the Lord your God are still alive today. See, I have taught you decrees and laws as the Lord my God commanded me, so that you may follow them in the land you are entering to take possession of it. Observe them carefully, for this will show your wisdom and understanding to the nations, who will hear about all these decrees and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. What other nation is so great as to have their gods near them the way the Lord our God is near us whenever we pray to him? And what other nation is so great as to have such righteous decrees and laws as this body of laws I am setting before you today? Only be careful and watch yourselves closely, so that you do not forget the things your eyes have seen or let them fade from your heart as long as you live. Teach them to your children and to their children after them. Let's pray. Dear God, throughout Scripture, you remind us to remain alert and aware of the things that lure us away from you. Please help us to follow you faithfully and to avoid the things that can hinder our walk with you. Thank you, Lord. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thanks for listening today. I'm Stephen, and today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Okay, you got the word? Now it's time to get up and do the world. All right, time for PT. Time for PT.
Go all the way, gotta be
rough and tough, airborne, every day, run to the sun,
no sweat,
not yet, down in the mess hall on my knee. We got nothing to eat but a can of beans,
nothing to eat,
but that's better than eat nothing. The bread was moldy and the meat was bad. Well, you know darn well that you can't eat that.
Hey, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Here
we go.
All the way.
Gotta be
rough and tough.
Airborne. All the way. When I was young, always wanted to be in the 82nd Airborne, knees in the breeze. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an aircraft while in flight.
All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on. All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on.
Time to rise and shine.
In the drizzling rain.
Well, I picked up my parachute and boarded the plane. Jump master said 1 minute to go. Green light lead with the dealing low.
All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on.
Drive it on. Drive it on.
All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on.
You know, I had this lady on the show one day, you know. General, I get her name right later. Rough but tough. Airborne. Yeah, I had on the show one morning. Yeah, General, I forgot her last name right quick, but I know her. We talked a long time, as a matter of fact. I'll have her on next year if we're both still around. All right, Tailgate PT time. Get it done, get it. Somebody get Sergeant Major and the first sergeant. Tell them I know they're retiring, but they're not retired yet. Let's get it. All I do is double time. All I do is double time. Up the hill, down the hill, down the hill, up the hill, up the hill, down the hill, airborne all the way. 30 rolling down the strip. Airborne daddy gonna take a little trip. Shuffle to the door. And jump right out and count to 4. Oh yeah. And count to 4 on a man born. Come on now. If my mate by my side, I got a reason by my side. And if that one should fail me too, I look out below because I'm coming through. Look out below, I'm coming through. Hey, every day. On the old drop zone. Box me up and send me home. Tell my girl I did my best. Get my wings on my chest. And bury me and did my best. Close to it. Had a man born. Hey, all the way. Hey, every day. Woo! Okay, now that's enough of that. That's right. We are the reserve crew. When the stuff gets really heavy, they call us. Of course, by the time they call us, it may be over. I'm not sure. Anyway, good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine in the great city of Montgomery, Alabama. Also, let me say, give some props to the Montgomery Fire Department, Montgomery Police Department, Montgomery, I leave anybody else? Fire Department, Police Department, anybody else out there? Oh, Montgomery Sanitation Department. Good morning, guys. And the Maintenance Department, got to say good morning to those guys. Although when I pull up in their parking lot, sometimes they don't know who I am. Then again, I guess they're not famous yet. But anyway, I always say hi to them going down the road. Me and JB always say hi to the sanitation people. That's right. So if y'all see a little red car come up to you and say hi to you, yeah, it's me. I'm just saying, don't be looking at me like I'm crazy. I mean, if it wasn't for me, you guys wouldn't have that big raise. I fought for you. That's right. Elk Dog fought for you. Anyway, also say good morning to Maxwell and Gunner Air Force Base. After all, this is an Air Force town, and we got to pay homage, okay, because we just visited. And to the police guys who keep trying to find me speeding every morning, I keep telling y'all, you don't speed when you're listening to Luther Vandross first thing in the morning. You can't even get up the energy to speed. It's so mellow. So go catch somebody that's actually speeding, okay? I don't do that in the morning. Unless I'm real late. Then you might make some money off of me. Anyway, good morning. It's time to rise and shine. It is a great day, an excellent day to be alive. I don't know who decided to put all of these flavorings in coffee, but this coffee sucks. Who came up with pumpkin coffee? Come on, man. Whoever that is, he should never have a coffee pot. If I'd have gave this kind of coffee to the first sergeant, he'd smack me. Come on, man. Let me feel some of that caffeine. Pumpkin coffee. Come on. Their motto is Semper Fidelis, but they couldn't pronounce that, so they just cut it short to Semper Fi. But whether it's Semper Fidelis or Semper Fi, it all means the same thing. always faithful. The United States Marine Corps. Yeah, I'm a Marine in my heart. Okay, in my heart, I'm a Marine. And welcome in. You know, yesterday I took some time because you know I looked at this school thing, right? Okay, now what does failure mean? Because I just cannot believe that people, and I mean, you accidentally learn something by showing up at school every day. So I couldn't figure out that word failure. So yesterday, I took the opportunity to have a bunch of long conversation with a couple of our school board members, and my perspective this morning is a little different. Okay, a little, not much, but a little different, because when they say failure, it doesn't mean failure like we think it does. Okay, when the school system says failure, they do something like the bottom 6% of something. I couldn't quite figure it out because it is so convoluted until, no wonder our kids can't do math, because the mathematics they were giving me yesterday did not compute. Okay, it just didn't compute. Okay, so we're going to take the bottom 6% of the whole, and if they don't do so well, then we fail everybody. We fail the school. Again, that math just doesn't make sense to me. So maybe somebody today can explain to me what that means, because failure does not necessarily mean failure. So I am becoming of the opinion. Now, I was skeptical for a long time of what people have been saying. I've been skeptical. But I am almost of the opinion that they put these things out in the public to further some agenda. I don't know who they are. But if failure doesn't really mean failure, then why do we use the word failure? Okay. So is there a conspiracy of sorts to make Birmingham or Huntsville or someplace the capital city of Alabama? I mean, I guess if you can throw enough if you can put enough holes in the bottom of the ship, sooner or later, no matter how big the aircraft carrier is, no matter what happens, sooner or later it drowns. It just goes down. Okay, so I'm just wondering. But we can talk about this later on when Donald gets here, because he may have a perspective on this that I don't know. And I'm beginning to believe it's got nothing to do with parents for the most part. It's the apparatus of the school system. And the state's not talking to the county. The county gets its information, a lot of its information from the state, but the state evidently doesn't talk to our board or any board, I guess, the way it should. But we talk about that later on, all those kind of things. I'm just saying. So next up, it is the police chief said the homicide rate is down from 2022. Well, Lord have mercy, could it go any further up? But hey, we'll take it as we can get it. We'll take it. As a matter of fact, the chief has got I believe he has a press conference today at 1 p.m. I think I'll be over there. But anyway, it's a great day to be alive. We'll come back with some of my fascinating thoughts on things. We'll be back. Okay. So you guys hang loose right there. Just hang loose and see what happens, and we'll come up with something. Okay. Anyway, am I done with that? Okay. No, nothing else to tell you until I come back. But when we come back, lessons of life, the word of the day, and we will be on our way. Okay, so hang loose. We shall return. Uno momento. Okay. That's not till Friday. Okay, not till Friday. I don't know why this y'all can't get that right. Okay, then. Now, I'll be back.
Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle. My company is Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 to provide custom blinds, shades, and shutters at affordable prices. Our blinds are easy to install and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive professional. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Cloudy and cold today. Temperatures struggle to get much above 50. It will be a little breezy as well. And the cold weather continues, more typical of January as opposed to mid-November. Tonight we're down into the mid-30s, partly cloudy tomorrow. Temperatures barely get to 50, and we're in the low to maybe mid-50s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with a varying degree of sunshine depending on the day of choice. Overnight, it's very cold, upper 20s and low 30s.
That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. We started with a couple of minor accidents, East-South Boulevard at Court Street and South Boulevard at Narrow Lanes. Keep your eyes open through those areas a little while longer. Outside of that, we're looking good. Interstate system's moving smoothly. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted. First Call Realty can help you find the land for your manufactured home. Call Realtors Rhonda Cotter and Bruce Dean at 334-320-8319. First Call Realty, the Cotter Dean team. It's time to get moving in your new home. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
Attention River Region listeners, take advantage of 4 new tires with no money down at Chico's Auto Pros, Montgomery's #1 rated tire store. Chico's Auto Pros.
When an esport is popular, people want to play it. For Overwatch 2, players had to wait months to get their hands on the game, and that appears to be the case once again with Call of Duty. This week it was announced that rank play for this year's title won't be playable until 2023. Instead of climbing to greater heights, players have to watch the pros do it instead. Making players wait to access a ranked mode for so long is a confusing decision for Activision to make. Would you be mad?
The latest esports and gaming news. Find it online at checkpointxp.com.
Dell Technologies Black Friday event has arrived with select deals on top tech to power business productivity. The savings start now with up to 50% off select performance business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, including free shipping on everything. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL for Black Friday deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Wait. Tell me where'd you get that money? Oh man, all this money came from 43money.com right online. Are you saying you went to 43money.com and got all that money you needed fast? Man, you know it. I went to 43money.com yesterday and bam, $5,000 was in my account today. Straight up. Now hold on. 43money.com helped you get $5K like that? Yeah, man, that's right. 43money.com's lenders provide personal loans for up to $5,000 for people like you and me, even if you don't have good credit. Man, I'm always short on cash. Can 43money.com help me get the money I need fast? If you need extra money fast, go to 43money.com. Just have a checking account and a regular source of income. Go to 43money.com and you can get the loan you need now. Regardless of your credit, go to 43money.com to get the money you need fast. Type www.43money.com directly into your address bar. That's 43money.com. Again, 43money.com. 43money.com.
Ben here with Just Blinds in Prattville. On behalf of the Myers family and our entire team here at Just Blinds, we want to sincerely thank you for selecting Just Blinds as the best, your #1 choice for blinds, shutters, and drapes in Central Alabama. Just Blinds has been delivering on our family's commitment to provide quality window treatments at affordable prices and to deliver the absolute best in customer service before, during, and after the sale for over 35 years. Please visit us online at gojustblinds.com.
Are fall projects piling up on your property? You still have to borrow a tractor from your buddies? It's time to get your own John Deere from SunSouth. We'll help you find the right tractor with implements that are as fun to operate as they are powerful. And during our fall sales event, you can take advantage of store-wide savings, including 0% interest on John Deere 1 Series, 3 Series, and even 5 Series tractors. So come see us at SunSouth, equipment for those that do.
Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Expires November 30, 2022.
Telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show. Weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
You know, I'm trying to figure out what prepared me to be able to get up every morning motivated, besides the good Lord. I think working in that mess hall thing, just got me used to getting up early in the morning, While everybody else was sleeping, I had to get up when it was cold outside, hot outside, raining, storming. Do you know, I used to make donuts in the rain in a tent for the troops. Can you believe that? Yeah, I used to do that, yeah. Pineapple upside down cake form and stuff like that, I mean, just, because the boys would be out there in that mud, and which is where I actually wanted to be. But no, they said, no, we need you to, make the grits and make the cream beef. I will tell you, though, I made some of the best cream beef the nation has ever seen. Okay, it was good. Now I don't know how to make it anymore. It's been a long time since I cooked. But listen, I did a pretty good job at my job. I just hated the job, to tell you the truth. I didn't hate the job because the job was hard. It was hard. It was tough sometimes. Coming back in from deployment, all the 11 Bravos and the 18 series, and all they got to do was clean their weapon and put it in the armory, and then they was off. But me, no, not the cooks. We had to go back to work, clean our weapon, put on our whites, and go to the mess hall because the boys wanted to eat, okay? And especially this time of year, when Thanksgiving was coming quick. Now, okay, you don't hear about my sob stories. I got you. Let's go on to something else more important. Anyway, get more, well, I can't say that it's more important, but let's just say something that's a little bit more, shall we say, palatable, okay, at the moment. Anyway, good morning to you. All right, now, lessons of life and the word of the day. I think you're gonna appreciate the lesson of life today. See, I think you're gonna appreciate it. But the word of the day, now this is a good one. Let me find this terrible coffee. Okay, this terrible coffee. I mean, who in the world want to make pumpkin coffee? Seriously, pumpkin coffee. I mean, who came up with this idea? Seriously, who came up with an idea of pumpkin coffee? I mean, whoever did, really, something needs to happen to them. Okay, something needs to happen to them because we don't need pumpkin coffee. But I'll get to that later on. The word of the day means having or showing a generous and kind nature. Now, I have to tell you, of all the words that describe me, this is the word. It means having or showing a generous and kind nature. As a matter of fact, I believe that I'm going to go down to the probate office today and have my name changed to this. Okay, am I too old to get my name changed? Hey, if you get a name change, does that help your credit score? I'm just wondering. So, okay, again, let me give you the word of the day. First of all, let me tell you what it means first. Having or showing a kind and generous nature. Okay, so what is the word? Come on, somebody knows. Come on, you know the word. Okay, This is like school all over again. Okay, magnanimous. That's right. So today, when I get off, I'm going down to see JC Love's office. I want to change my name to Magnanimous. Okay? And for short, you guys call me Magna. No, not MAGA, Magna. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, so the word of the day is magnanimous. I think when I get off, I'm going to change my name because that just describes me to a T. Okay, generous, and it got a kind nature. Okay, I'm just saying that, you know. So for now, when you see me, I think I'm going to put that on my license plates too. Okay, magnanimous. Yes, that's me. Now, more importantly, what is the lesson of life today? Well, lessons of life is the things you learn by living. You know, you ever seen a guy who sits on the sideline? Man, I can do that. I could have threw that touchdown. Why didn't you catch the ball? Man, it was right there in your hand. But he wasn't on the field. Man, he wasn't there. He didn't know. The guy's never played an ounce of football in his life. But he's going to tell the football player how to play. Well, that may work good on TV. But in real life, until you've gone through what I've gone through, you don't know what you would do. Okay, I'm just saying that is the lesson of life. That's not the lesson of life, but I'm just saying that's what this lesson of life is all about today. Okay. Okay, so, you know, no testimony. Okay, but here's lessons of life today for the 16th day of November, 2022. Defeat isn't bitter if you're smart enough not to swallow it. At one time or another, we will experience failure. In fact, the more we are willing to risk, the more we will fail. The trick, though, is to think of failure not as the end of something, but as a part of the process. Okay? Failure gives us a second chance to do it again. And this time, do it better. Failure is not your enemy. It is your teacher. So don't ever give up if you fail at something. Again, it teaches us something about ourselves. Okay, and it teaches you something about you. It teaches you that do it better next time. Okay, so the lesson of life today, defeat isn't bitter if you are smart enough not to swallow it. Okay, that's what I'm just telling you. That's what life teaches us. There are many. Michael Jordan said he had to shoot, 30,000 basketballs or so in order to get as good. So he failed more times than he succeeded. But the fact that he didn't quit, like most successful people, the fact that they don't quit and they keep throwing that ball up there, well, that means that's how you get better. It teaches every time we fail at something. Well, okay, most of the time. I've done it a few times, haven't learned enough yet. But anyway, every time we fail at something, we do learn something about ourselves. We do. We learn something about ourselves. So failure is not necessarily bad if you use it as a teacher and you don't swallow the bitter pill. Okay, I'm just saying you might want to do that. Okay, word of the day means having or showing a generous and kind nature, magnanimous. So from now on, you just call me Magna. Okay, so when I'm going down to probate office today and I'm changing my name to Magna for magnanimous. Okay, that's the kind of guy I am. All right then, moving on. It is November the 16th. It is the 320th day of this year. On November the 16th, 1933, the United States and Soviet Union established diplomatic relations. That's kind of only relations they will have. 1776, British troops captured Fort Washington in New York during the American Revolution. I'm going to take their word for it. I wasn't there. In 1907, Oklahoma became the 46th state of the Union. I'm still trying to figure out back in the old days, how do you know what state you was in? I mean, really, we didn't have Google Earth or anything like that. I mean, how do you know where you were? I think somebody just BSing it. I don't really think they knew back in the day where the lines were. But hey, I can live with it. 1914, the newly created Federal Reserve Bank opened in 12 cities. And our country has not been the same economically since. 1939, Al Capone, ill with syphilis, was released from prison after serving 7.5 years for tax evasion and failure to file tax returns. It's an amazing thing. The tax people are tough. I mean, you can get away with murder, you can get away with all kinds of things, but brother, you're not getting away from the taxes. Come on. Is it really that bad? It ain't nothing but money. 1959, the Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, The Sound of Music, opened in Broadway. The year was 1961. House Speaker Samuel T. Rayburn died in Bohan, Texas, after serving as Speaker of the House from 1940, except for 2 terms. In 1966, Dr. Samuel H. Shepard was acquitted in Cleveland at his second trial of murdering his pregnant wife. He actually was a Green Beret, Maryland, in 1954. I think he was a Green Beret. I believe that's what he was. Skylab in 1973, Skylab 4, carrying a crew of 3 astronauts, was launched from Cape Canaveral on a 84-day mission. I hear you. And the year was 1981. Actor William Holden was found dead in his apartment, in Santa Monica, California. He was 63. I love that guy's movies. 1982, an agreement was announced in the 57-day strike by the National Football League players. Yeah, I didn't feel sorry for him anyway. Well, I was overseas, so I don't know what's happening. But I didn't feel sorry for him anyway. Yeah, you ever try watching a football game in Germany? It's kind of tough. 1997, China's most prominent pro-democracy campaigner, Wei Jianxing, arrived in the United States after being released following nearly 18 years of imprisonment in his country. The year was 2006. Democrats embraced Nancy Pelosi as the first woman House Speaker in history, and it's all gone downhill since then. But then selected Steny Hoyer as majority leader against her wishes. Okay, we just gave you position. We didn't give you all that power, okay? About 14 years ago or so, Iraq's cabinet overwhelmingly approved a security pact with the United States calling for American forces to remain in the country until 2012. Space Shuttle Endeavour linked up with the International Space Station. The Pittsburgh Steelers rallied from behind to beat San Diego Chargers 11-10 in the first such final score in NFL history. That's right. It sounded more like a baseball game than a football game. 9 years ago, in his weekly Saturday radio internet address, President Barack Obama said improved energy efficiency and higher energy production in the United States were yielding environmental and economic benefits that were helping ensure cleaner air and more competitive businesses in the landscape. Right. I hear you. 6 years ago, Minnesota Democrat Senator Al Franken became the first member of Congress to be caught up in a wave of allegations of sexual abuse and inappropriate behavior after a Los Angeles radio anchor accused him of forcibly kissing her and groping her melons. Okay, I don't know what he did that for. At a 2006 USO tour. The federal bribery trial of Democratic Senator Bob Menendez in New Jersey ended with the jury hopelessly deadlocked on all charges. Federal prosecutors decided in January not to retry him. Jose Altuve of the world champion Houston Astros won the American League Most Valuable Player award. Baseball is so boring. I don't know. So that's just some. Oh, one more thing. At the Latin Grammy Awards in Las Vegas, several artists dedicated their performances and awards to Puerto Rico as the island struggled to recover from Hurricane Maria. And to all my Puerto Rican friends out there on shore, buenos dias. Buenos noches and buenas tardes. That's about the extent of my speaking Spanish. Well, I'd say a couple other things too, but they may not be appropriate for radio because somebody in Spanish out there may be listening. So I don't want to say those things here. Anyway, so good morning to everybody. It is 6:55 in the morning, and hopefully we'll have an interesting day of discussion. If not, we'll bore you to tears. The police chief says the homicide rate is down. We didn't shot everybody that was available to be shot almost in this country, in this city. But listen, I'm not gonna rain on the chief, because if it had went up, we'd have blamed the police chief for that. So I'm gonna give the brother some props for getting it down. Okay, so give the chief. Let's give the Montgomery Police Department a little props there. Okay, because we didn't shoot more people. We didn't kill more people this year. We killed less. But the year's not over yet. So, and as long as I'm here when it turns, I'm good. But anyway, so thank the chief for his. Montgomery Police Chief Dale Albert addressed the city council meeting on Tuesday on the progress of addressing crime in the capital city. Since Albert was first sworn in as the 15th police chief, he said there has been fewer homicides in 2022 than the previous year, adding that homicide clearance rates are going up to about 70%, which means 7 out of 10 they solve. At least that's what they tell us anyway, which is higher than the national average. I believe the national average is around 46 to 50%. So our guys are doing a pretty good job of finding who the monsters were in these things. Okay. All right, then. The biggest part of this is that we can talk about internal work as we were as the very thing we do, but don't do any of this. Somebody wrote that wrong. Okay. Anyway, our success is not without the public health. That's true too. You know what they say though? Snitches get stitches. So, I'm not. Hey, listen. I mean, if I see the guy right there in front of me do it, I might tell somebody something. Other than that, you might see that. It wasn't me. Don't take shooting no bullet holes in my house. I'm good. All right then. Snitches get stitches. That'll make you want to think about some things. Anyway, again, yesterday there was a whole conversation on. I gotta go. I don't have time to talk about it anymore. I see Donald's here. Needless to say, he's gonna have something to say about something. I don't know exactly what though, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. Okay. So, oh wait, not that right there. There we go. Now, gotta go. So I'll leave you guys with a little ambrosia. And anybody who ever gives me pumpkin coffee again, somebody gonna get slapped. This is the worst crap I ever tasted. I don't know who came up with this. It wasn't they didn't make this in Brazil. Yes. We'll be back.
News update on News Radio
Pumpkin coffee. Where the heck did you get that from?
Back in the room.
Oh, okay.
This crap.
It must be an instant.
No, it's in a machine thing.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
It sucks.
Okay.
I mean, who came up with this?
What happened? What happened yesterday? What are you talking about? You said
they talked about the 14 schools that failed. But when I talk to the school board,
that's
that's
a technicality.
Right.
In other words, here's what that's all about. You can get your best athletes from those 14 failing schools and put them wherever you want, which is usually.
Former President Donald Trump has formally launched his 2024 presidential campaign. He made the announcement yesterday from his Mar-a-Lago resort in front of a large crowd, including his wife and family. This will be the president's third run at the White House. I'm Jasmine Williams, and these are your
News Radio 1440, WLWI AM, the home of the Dan Bongino Show. Also on 95.1 HD3 FM, Montgomery, Alabama, a Cumulus media station.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage. I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. The investigation is still underway, but NATO says it appears a missile strike in Poland yesterday was not an intentional act by Russia. CBS's Kemi McCormick has more on that.
We have no indication that this was the result of a deliberate attack.
NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg after a meeting of the alliance in Brussels.
The incident was likely caused by a Ukrainian air defense missile fired to defend Ukrainian territory against Russian cruise missile attacks.
Stoltenberg said there is no indication Russia is preparing offensive military acts against NATO.
Former President Trump says he wants another 4 years. CBS's Major Garrett on last night's speech.
In announcing his third bid for the presidency, Donald Trump tried in vain to capture the spirit of his 2016 insurgent campaign.
We will be taking on the most corrupt forces and entrenched interests imaginable.
Trump celebrated administration accomplishments on economic growth, tax cuts, border control, and defense spending.
Senate Republicans are being forced to choose who they want to be their new leader. CBS's Nicole Killian has that.
Minority Leader Mitch McConnell faced his first leadership challenge in 15 years from Florida Republican Rick Scott, who called for a change from the status quo.
I have the votes. I will be elected. The mother of a University of Virginia student who was severely injured in a shooting on Sunday, in which 3 others were killed, says her son is in critical but stable condition. Brenda Holland spoke with CBS's Catherine Herridge.
He can't talk, but he has written Deshaun's name. He has written Devin's name.
Does he know those players are dead?
No, we can't.
The suspect is scheduled to be arraigned today. NASA this morning launched a rocket with a capsule on it on a mission to the moon. Flight Director Mike Serafin.
Today we got to witness the world's most powerful rocket, and it was quite a sight.
CBS's Mark Strassman has more on the mission.
On Monday morning next week, Orion will fly within 60 miles of the lunar surface, then push 40,000 miles beyond the moon for space high drama. Its glimpse back on Earth.
The UN's World Health Organization is out with some surprising new guidance on improving survival and health outcomes for premature babies. CBS's Vicky Barker reports from the Foreign Desk in London.
Rather than rushing premature babies into an incubator for their first few days, the new WHO guidelines advise that skin-to-skin contact between mother and baby, known as kangaroo mother care, should come first, immediately after birth.
Dow futures down just a few points. This is CBS News.
This hour's newscast is presented by Rocket Mortgage. When you need cash out of your home and a simple way to get it, Rocket can.
But let's see, if something costs less, but
As a
people
matter
are
of fact,
happier with
he
it.
couldn't qualify for
That
the
sounds like
elementary.
something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard
the other one.
switching to MediShare.
So it's
maybe
all,
healthcare
and you
can
know,
save the typical
some
family
kids are a little bit better
$500 a month. And that's
certain
huge,
things.
but it's also true that people are way more satisfied
Yeah.
after making the switch.
I just thought something
The customer
very
satisfaction
interesting
rate
last
for
week
MediShare is double that of the
about the
typical
name of
health
the school.
insurance plan. Double.
You know what?
MediShare works. It's
There
been
used to be a
around for more
time
than a
that
quarter century,
and there has always been a
$3
reason schools
billion
were named what they were.
bills. People
Right,
love having
Okay.
telehealth and
You
IT
see, the
nutrition
names
network,
of the
so yeah,
predominantly
you can
black
save a
schools were
ton if you
named
like it better.
for one reason.
Imagine being
The
happy
name
with
for
how
the
you're
predominant
taking
white
care of your
schools
health
were named
care.
for another reason.
So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want to
What
plan you're happy
reason
with,
could
you
it
can
be
call
except
right now.
to acknowledge the
minutes.
contribution?
The two latest
Here's the number you need.
Montgomery High schools
88 Bible.
were
That's 866
Lee
88 Bible.
and Jeff Davis.
866 88 Bible.
Lee,
Elton John
with the
is
statue of
leaving it
Lee,
all on the stage
was not
in
far
Los
from the
Angeles.
Confederate monument.
Elton John says LA
Okay,
has been a magical
that was
place for him, which
the
is why he
Confederate. That
says
would
the
say,
North
hey,
American leg of his farewell
we still
tour at Dodger
are
Stadium.
with. We're still relevant. Jefferson
Primary
Davis
shows there start
was
on
right
Thursday,
after
but the very last
the
one, Sunday, will be live
what it was
streamed
Brown
on
versus
Disney
Board of
Plus.
Education,
Dua Lipa
because
and Brandy
Jeff
Carlisle
Davis
will
was
be some
in
of his
McGee
featured
Estate.
guests.
A lot of the students that went to Jeff Davis were from
After
McGee
that, the
Estate.
legendary singer heads to
Okay.
Australia, then
Are you
Europe,
familiar with
before
McGee
catching up
Estates
with
and what it was when it was
next
listed?
summer. Monica Ricks, CBS News.
Former First Lady
See, that was
Michelle Obama
that was when they
on a
didn't
month-long nationwide
understand that
tour to
forced
promote her new book, The Life of the
desegregation
Terror.
was going to
Last
happen.
night at a theater in Washington, D.C.
They thought it was going to be according to where you were zoned.
Mrs. Obama
And that
says
was one of
she
those
wrote the
zone
book to
areas.
share the habits
Lee was
and
zoned. The
practices
schools
she
that
uses
were
to
zoned
stay
to Lee
balanced during
were predominantly one.
anxiety-inducing times.
The schools that the students that were zoned for Jeff Davis were predominantly one. Then forced desegregation through court order. That changed everything. And that's how they got desegregated. I don't use the word integrated. They've never been integrated. They were desegregated, which is a force that, and you can't force people to do something.
That's true.
But the predominant black schools, high schools, what were their names?
Customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the
George Washington Carver,
Yeah.
Booker T. Washington,
That's true.
Lovelace,
That's true. Yeah.
and Lab High.
People love having
Laboratory High, which was the best public school in Montgomery was Laboratory High. Never heard of it.
So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want to
I can tell you a couple of people that you probably know. You heard of Sadie Penn, right? Who taught master's English at Lee when Lab High closed. Her daughter went there. That was Vanzetta Penn McPherson. That was Lab High. That was that Lab High. And if you look up lab schools were the precursors to magnet school.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything from Vanzetta.
Well, husband died. I really haven't talked to her. But I've seen her a couple of times. Looks in the health and everything. Yeah, since I've seen her.
43money.com's looking to provide personal loans for up to $5,000 for people
Oh,
like you
she
and me.
I think she was involved in arts or something.
Can 43money.com help me get the money I need fast? If you need extra money fast, go to 43money.com. Just have a checking account and a regular social media. Go to 43money.com.
You talking about smart? That's one smart one. Her mother was super smart. She taught master's English at Lee. And that was just regular English at Lab High.
I think English is as much to do about nothing.
I think you sound like an uneducated person.
The art of communication.
You know what? Ever since
it's telling somebody. Telling somebody what I tell them and they understood me.
No.
I have communicated.
When that guy said that,
That's right.
That was his opinion. That's not.
It was a right opinion.
No, that just fell in line with what.
That's right.
As a lazy individual.
No.
As long as you can blurt out words, no matter how.
As long as people understand what you said, you have communicated. Yeah. These arbitrary rules of language are just made up stuff.
No, it's not.
Yeah, they are made up stuff.
You're showing your ignorance, Kevin. You know?
Donald,
This is out there.
Donald, they're all made up.
No.
Somebody made the rules up. Yes, they did. Somebody made the rules of language up.
Right.
Somebody made it up.
Right,
and we accept it. They made it up.
You can universally, the way you know what?
They made it
you know
up.
what's
though.
really funny?
They made it up.
You know what's really funny? How is it possible that people from all over the world can learn English better than Americans?
I mean, adverbs, pronouns. We made that crap up, and we gave it a definition.
It has a purpose.
But sure it does. But they came up with a
That's
purpose.
structure.
Okay, structure's good.
Let's not talk about that on there.
It's made
You'll
up.
get mad with me.
No, I won't.
No.
It's made up.
No.
But
Don't go there.
all of our language is made up. All of our languages. Every last one of them. And whoever makes the language makes the rules.
Okay.
We're back. We're here.
Yes.
Had to get Donald straight out there.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. I'm a pragmatist. If you can go straight to it, why go around it? I want to get it, but we discuss it. Well, wait a minute. Hold it.
I know it's the Kevin Elkins.
Thank you very much. Let me decide what I want to.
If you want to go there, go ahead.
I don't mind going there, but because and as a practical matter, I'm absolutely 100% right.
Okay, you're right.
That's right, I am.
I know.
That's right, I am. The only thing you can argue with is math. That's the only thing you cannot argue with is math, because math is a science, and scientifically you can prove the equation. You can prove that the equation either works or don't.
Yeah, but there are mathematical equations that do not work.
Sure, but they can be proven or disproved.
Yeah,
they can be proven or disproved. That I don't argue with, because I'm smart enough not to argue with that.
Okay.
But I won't go there right now with you. And you think that I'm going to embarrass myself when I'm actually right.
Okay.
But that's okay. Everything we do in our culture is made up by people within inside that culture.
Okay.
Okay. They make the rules. They make let's just take the whole ABCD thing in school. Let's just take the grading process in school. That's a made up process. Will you agree that just because a person gets a F doesn't don't mean they're stupid, right?
It's an evaluation.
Exactly.
So
It's a made up,
It's a standard.
right. It's a made up
It's an
process.
and it's an agreed evaluation of a standard.
Right. Agreed by somebody.
And then there's a beginning or
That's
a
right.
top and a bottom. That's all that.
Exactly. See, so even you agree with me. I'm glad you came to that point.
Good.
I'm not going to go there because I know you don't want me to go there, but
I appreciate
but I'm not going there
that.
only,
That was a little bit much.
only because. But I'm right.
Oh yes, you're right. I agree. You're right.
From a pragmatic standpoint, I'm right.
I've told you how many times.
Yeah.
I've told you, you're
Okay.
right.
All right
But
then.
I want to go into
Anyway, that voice is Donald Jenkins, who's our guest on Wednesday, every other Wednesday.
first and third.
Yeah, but before we get to him, let me tell you about one of our sponsors, JL Lane Truck and Auto. JL Lane Truck and Auto. Listen, your credit may not be what it used to be. You may not have an 800 like me. You may got like a 300. That's okay. They don't care because you can buy there and you can pay there. Okay, they will help you get a ride if you need a ride. Okay, our pre-loved ride, and you know it's working good because somebody's had it before you did. So that means that it's a good car. See, now all I need you to do is go to www.jlanetruckandauto.com and look at the inventory. Again, you can buy there, you can pay there. Online inventory, okay? All the cars have been cleaned and cleared of all known issues. They have passed a rigorous inspection test. Okay, and as a matter of fact, Christmas is coming up next month. You might want to think about going there and getting that Lexus that they got sitting on the thing. I mean, they got an absolutely gorgeous Lexus sitting over there. So if you're ready to ride, go to 208 Gun Road. But if you can't make it over there because you're walking, you can go online to jlanetruckandauto.com and look at the inventory, and I guarantee you will be absolutely pleased. And that Lexus over there, I've been thinking about parking my car in the driveway and going in and get that car. But the bank may have something to say about that. You know, I don't know if I can get Mr. Lane to take that note on and buy it from me. I don't know, because I want that Lexus now. So let me figure out a way how to get it. Okay. Anyway, so if you don't have what you want, call 272-4313, ask for Steve, and if they don't have it, they'll get it. Okay. So 860-1440 is our number here. I don't know who's on the phone already before I get Donald. Good morning, who's this? Good morning, Ed. All right there, Mr. Ed. I can always count on you to give me some motivation. 860-1440. Donald's with us. Don, you had mentioned something about the renaming of the school.
Yeah. I think, and for persons like yourself, I think when we rename schools, there should be an education to the students and to the citizenry on why the school is named that. You know, and let's be honest and see, because we're not honest about things, we get emotional. Now, I know why the schools in Montgomery have the names that they name, because I'm from Montgomery. If you look at the high schools in Montgomery, the black-white high schools were named for one reason, and the white high schools, the latest, especially those lately. The white high schools that were named, the latest two that we're talking about, that was Robert E. Lee, which was not far from the Confederate Memorial, that I don't see the stone anymore. There used to be a stone over there, the Daughters of the Confederacy put over there for the heart of the Confederacy. And there was a sense of honor in the Confederacy and the Confederate soldiers who were traitors to the country of the United States of America. Any other country in the world, Jefferson Davis and Robert E. Lee would have been executed for their part in an insurrection and a revolution against the United States of America. The United States of America is the only country that has allowed dissidents, traitors, to be called heroes. Okay, that's number one. That's a fact. That's not an opinion. Then number two, you look at the black high schools. The black high schools were Lovelace High School, George Washington Carver High School, Booker T. Washington High School, and that was Lab High when it's closed, Laboratory High, which was before that, it was Alabama State Teachers College, and before that, it was Alabama State Normal School, and before that, it was Lincoln Normal School. All of those schools had names for a reason.
But why should I care?
Because if you want your students to be proud, and if anyone who attended, and the other high school was the one I attended, was St. Jude. And St. Jude was the patron saint of impossible causes. And that's what the founder,
from a Catholic perspective.
No, from the founder
It's a
of the school,
Catholic.
period. Okay, period.
Yeah.
St. Jude is St. Jude Thaddeus is the patron saint of impossible causes. And the elementary school I attended was St. John the Baptist. Okay. So I knew the history of St. John the Baptist. I knew the history of St. Jude Thaddeus. Okay. I knew the history of George Washington Carver, even though I did not attend public school. I knew the history of Booker T. Washington. I knew the history of Lab School. I knew how it started. I know the first president, the founder. You know, Rosemont Gardens was founded by the founder of Alabama State, which later became Lab High. So there was some kind of connection to the name and to the people. And one of the schools, and especially, now I'm not going to harp on the civil rights leaders, but the most brilliant scientist in the state of Alabama ever is Percy LaVon Julian. Okay? Percy LaVon, I know the history of Percy LaVon Julian because I've read about it extensively, and there are people who knew him personally from Chicago. Okay? He was a well-known scientist who became a millionaire because of his education, not because of sports. And the reason he became a millionaire is because he was not accepted in the world of academia. He attended Alabama State Teachers College. He was, prior to that, Alabama State Normal School. He was so brilliant when he attended DePaul University. He first was put into mediocre class or remedial classes because of the communication differences. And by the time he graduated, he was the valedictorian of his class. And presently, DePaul University, have you ever heard of DePaul?
Yeah.
Where is it?
I don't care where it's at.
No, I'm asking you for a reason.
But I don't care where it's at.
Have you've heard of Notre Dame, right?
Sure, I'm from South Bend.
Okay. So DePaul is in Indiana also.
I didn't know that.
Right. So DePaul University in Indiana is the school where he graduated with honors and then later went to Harvard. He received his master's from Harvard. And because he was Black, Harvard would not allow him to teach the white students from the South because they said they would be offended by him teaching them. So he was at a lower teaching level. So he could have been an instructor.
All that intelligence.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Didn't
Then,
make a difference.
after that, he went ahead and taught at Howard University.
Mm-hmm.
You know where Howard is?
Yeah, that's in Atlanta, isn't it?
No, Howard is in
Washington,
Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it's in Washington.
in Washington. He taught at Howard. And because of the lack of funding and his education, he said, there has to be more than I'm not appreciated enough. Then he went on and went to Vienna. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He went to Vienna, and that's where he received his PhD. And he was a chemist. And in chemistry, he went to work for various companies. One of those was Glidden. And he founded, and you mention on your show all the time, this product for low T. Well, he discovered the plant synthesis that would allow you to reproduce medicine through synthesized products, chemicals. And that's what he's famous for.
That's good.
And today we have products that are used, especially in birth control and testosterone and all of these things, is because of Percy LaVon Julian's discovery on how to recreate that and synthesize those chemicals to create those medicines. And that's how he became a millionaire, because he quit Glidden and he sued DuPont because they took some. He had over 110 patents for his chemical, and he became a millionaire. And he moved to Oak Park, Chicago, which was a predominantly white community.
Mm-hmm.
And he had received, on the same year he moved in, he had received the Person of the Year in Illinois, and the white citizens of that town put a firebomb.
I mean, they were buttholes. Hold on.
I'm saying they put a fire. You have the Citizen of the Year, one of the most famous scientists in Illinois, and a millionaire. And because he was black, they bombed. But he never went there.
Right. Ignorance knows no bounds.
And his son, and he told his children, because his son, Percy LaVon Jr., became a civil rights lawyer. He received his law degree. And so what I'm saying is that is a proud tradition. And the entire story of Percy LaVon Julian's family and how they developed in spite of, and that's what I'm saying. It's in spite of him being black and being mistreated. He went through all of that. And that should be what all the students at the Percy LaVon Julian High School should know. That should be written.
Agree.
Everything I have in front of me right now, I'm not making it up. I have it in front of me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I have in front of me, and I'm talking to members of the Board of Education, Lisa Keith and whomever, they should print out the life story of Percy LaVon Julian and tell all the parents. There should be a session where the students should say, the reason we are naming this school this is because we want you to aspire to the excellence of Percy LaVon Julian, not a basketball player, not a football player, but a brilliant scientist, millionaire,
and I think
who was not accepted in the world of academia.
I think that
now
that is good.
And then also explain that Robert E. Lee was a traitor to the United States of America.
I'm not going to go that far.
You don't have to.
Yeah, but I
what I'm saying, and that's not being woke.
But you don't have to. But you don't have to put one down to uplift the other.
Yes, you do.
I don't think
on
so.
this particular case.
No,
you do.
I think
if you're uplifting, Kevin, let me tell you this.
Yeah, but I think
if you are uplifting a traitor to the United States,
I'm not going to call him a traitor. I'm not going to call him a traitor.
I'm going to call. What do you call a person?
I'm going to call him a traitor.
Robert E. Lee was responsible for the death of more Americans citizens than any other person in the world.
And I believe that.
Okay.
I believe that General MacArthur pulled U.S. tanks on soldiers in Washington D.C. Was he a traitor?
Let me ask you this. Look, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to stick to the facts. The facts are the Civil War had more American soldiers die than all of the wars.
And we've had
World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War.
I'm with you.
More soldiers died.
I'm still not going to call. I'm not going to call him a traitor.
Why not?
I'm not going to call him a traitor.
I'm going to call him a traitor.
And you can do that. I won't call him a traitor.
Jefferson Davis was a traitor.
All right.
Robert E. Lee was a traitor to the United States of America.
And that's
because they went. Do you believe in the Constitution?
I surely do. But I also
they went against the Constitution.
But I also believe that
they wrote their own Constitution.
Okay. I also believe.
What is the difference between the Constitution of the Confederate States of America and the Constitution of the United States of America?
Well, I imagine there are plenty of different.
No, there's only one difference.
Okay.
There's one paragraph that is different.
Okay. Well, let me
You know what it is?
What is it? Something about
It's
slavery.
slavery.
There
That's
you
what
go.
it is.
I knew that was coming.
And you know it was coming.
Good morning, who's this? Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, that's true. Right. 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 And also the Republican Party, see, there are two factions of the party. If you're going to tell the story, tell the whole story. The Republican Party was the party of Lincoln. The party of Lincoln is not the party of the Republican Party today. It's not the party of, what's his name who just announced yesterday? I'm having a brain fart. What's his name?
Trump.
Trump, yeah. The party of Trump is not the party of
y'all always say that.
So what I'm saying, that is true.
Y'all always
In other
say
words,
that.
see, sir, I remember when we first received the right to vote in the state of Alabama, the yellow ballot had a rooster on it, and in Lowndes County, it had a Black Panther. The Black Panther Party was the Black Democratic Party, and the rooster was the Democratic Party. When the two parties joined together, the Alabama Party, the Alabama Democratic Party, and the ADC, the Alabama Democratic Conference, when they joined together and agreed that they'll be a part of each other. That's how you have the donkey, which is the symbol of the National Democratic Party. Now, if we're going to go there, I can give you the history, but the parties have both evolved. The party of Lincoln is not the party of Trump. The party of Jackson is not the party that we have today in the 80s. And we still have a division in Montgomery. We have the ADC, the MDC, and MCDC, and we have the National Party. So that donkey really means nothing. That elephant really means nothing. Would you agree? Look, the symbol of the party is not the symbol of the representatives who are there now. Both the Democratic
always
Party
make excuses
and
for
I'm
it.
not. It's not an excuse. What I'm saying is the symbol of the eagle on the coin is not the same to everyone. So we're talking about a symbol. What I'm talking about is individuals, sir. I am talking about an individual. I am talking about Percy LaVon Julian, and I am talking about Robert E. Lee. Now, you've carried it all the way to the donkey. The donkey doesn't matter to me. The elephant doesn't matter to me. But what I'm talking about, the difference between Percy LaVon Julian and Robert E. Lee. Let's stick to the facts of what we're talking about. The naming of a school from Robert E. Lee to Percy LaVon Julian. Okay? Now, if we're within that concept, you've made it broader to bring in the entire Democratic Party and the donkey.
No, I think he showed hypocrisy. I think he's showing hypocrisy, though.
No, it doesn't. Let's keep it fair here and keep it straight.
Well,
we're
we're
in a
trying to be
if we're
fair.
going to have an honest conversation about issues, the issue
Well,
on
I've got to go to a break.
Yeah, the issue on the table is Percy LaVon Julian versus Robert E. Lee.
Okay.
That is the issue, not the donkey.
All right.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did, but that's not what we're talking about. See, when we talk about, and here's where people carry it all into race. I'm not making it all about race. I didn't really have it about race. I had it about an individual and what their accomplishments were. You did make it about race because you're talking about the donkey, which has nothing to do with Percy LaVon Julian. What does the donkey have to do with Percy LaVon Julian and Robert E. Lee? Robert E. Lee was a traitor. Let me ask you this. Was Robert E. Lee a traitor to the United States of America?
No.
No, I'm asking him. Was he? Okay, end of story.
Well then,
Robert E. Lee was a true. So that's our conversation.
If he was
We're
a traitor,
talking about Robert E. Kevin, I'm talking to the caller, and other people are listening. We know
wait,
where
wait,
you're
wait. Why didn't they get tried for being a traitor? If
That's,
they were traitors.
that's political. That's a whole nother story.
Well, the using the word isn't political. Using that word is political.
No, that is not political.
It
That
is
is a
political.
fact. That is a fact.
But it's a political fact. But why didn't Lincoln? I mean, why didn't
Lincoln was
Abraham
dead.
Lincoln
Lincoln was dead.
give a whole bunch of people pardons?
Lincoln was dead.
Well,
Johnson did that.
Then I guess the history is wrong than what I read.
No,
what I read.
Lincoln
gave all kinds of pardons to.
All the problems came when Johnson, his vice president, after his death.
All right, I gotta take a break. Hey, appreciate your. All right, we gotta take a break. We'll be back.
Forecast on News Radio 1440.
It says right here that Lincoln gave 17 pardons. He gave
that's to bring the country.
And in 1957, the year I was born, they gave them veteran.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
So Eisenhower didn't do that.
No, read it. Okay. They gave the surviving wives of those soldiers. They gave them that. But they never made them, they were not veterans. They are not considered veterans of the United States. Because they died in a war in the United States. They gave the
reason
I'm familiar with that because I've heard you say that, and you said it out of context.
The reason,
but
this
is off the point.
Right. But the reason I'm not calling them traitors,
they were traitors.
I said the reason why I'm not calling them traitors.
They are not buried with American soldiers. Well, they are buried with CSA, Confederate States of America.
Yeah. And again,
the Confederate. I know where the Confederate soldiers are buried in Montgomery. It's in a section right next to the black
cemetery. I'm not, and of course they're all dead, so it doesn't make any difference.
But what I'm saying, they to bring the country. That's another issue. To bring the country back together, they say, okay, let's not prosecute all these individuals here because it mixed into families all through. Part of family was in the Union, part was in the Confederacy. That's a whole different political issue. But you're changing the subject. What I'm saying is they were traitors.
During his presidency, Lincoln issued 64 pardons for war-related offenses, 22 for conspiracy, 17 for treason, 12 for rebellion, 9 for holding an office under the Confederacy, and 4 for serving with the rebels. So,
and it's just like Richard Nixon was pardoned by his vice president.
Sure.
A pardon means you have done something wrong,
but we forgive you.
But I have the president. That's the presidential
that means you've
but
been
that
forgiven.
Don't mean I forgive him.
Well, you ain't got to forgive him.
That's a presidential pardon.
But officially,
I don't forgive him.
But officially,
but what he said, they can't be prosecuted for it. That's all that said. In other words, Rod Blagojevich was pardoned.
So let me get this right.
By Trump.
God can forgive us, but you can't forgive them.
No. That just means you can't receive prosecution. But what I do say, what you did was wrong.
We all done
but
something
you
wrong.
Can't be. Yes.
We all have done something.
Do not equate
conflict.
Do not equate what I'm saying and what you're saying. Do not equate that. What you're saying is we've all done wrong.
And we all have.
But when a group of people have hundreds of thousands of people killed in order to keep the enslavement of another few million people.
The worst fight that you could ever get into is with your own family members. It's the most brutal fight. We, as a family of Americans at that time, disagreed with one another. We disagree.
And what did we disagree about?
And I heard you.
What was the disagreement?
But we still got slavery. It's called prison.
What? That's right.
We still got it.
And then there are some states who don't have it. Every state, that's a big thing now, the way it should be national. And that was part of our constitutional amendment, to take that language out.
But it didn't.
Because, they didn't.
Still there.
So it's still there. So you still have slavery in the state of Alabama, but I think
You do.
I think it's
And the Constitution,
28 states
the
have done away with it.
Constitution says it's okay as long as they're in prison.
Well, the Constitution of the United States, but
Yeah.
state by state, and that's what the state of Alabama kept doing. And that's what they had, and that's where, if you go to EGI, you'll see that. That's what that is. They did away with slavery, but
Sure.
incarceration was the new slavery.
So are we still a country? Even though we still got
Yeah,
slavery?
state by state.
Right.
Yes, yes. state
So
by state.
exactly.
But see-
State by state. And
Yeah.
each state had its own
Yeah,
government,
so-
had its
So
own
what you
leadership.
see, Kevin, to keep from getting off the issue, and that's what you do, vary out. What I'm saying is, and the gentleman on the phone agreed.
Yeah.
They were, no matter what Lincoln did, they were still, yes, you did wrong, but we're not gonna prosecute you for it. But
We
that
forgave
doesn't
him.
mean Lincoln did.
Right, forgave him.
I don't.
They need our support.
We give them sure forgiveness.
Support your children's
Join Sean Hannity Sundays at 3 p.m. for the Encore Show.
Chinese and Russians don't fear Joe Biden.
On News Radio 1440.
Oh, gotta go there.
Oh, you always do that.
Man, you gotta learn how
You
to
got-
work this.
You walk off, you need to do your job, just don't just walk off. Hey, am I getting paid to do
Sometimes
that?
I had to pause for the calls. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into our now Donald. Even though he's a pain in the butt sometimes, I will admit to you, I did find that information interesting, and I do think if you're going to name a school, you're right. But the people who went to Lee, they didn't know nothing about Lee.
Hold on.
I do think
Hold
you're going to
on.
name it.
That's an entirely different
Oh,
issue. But
now that's
what I'm saying, they should know about Lee.
They should know.
But what I'm saying is, when I attended St. Jude Educational Institute, I knew who St. Jude Thaddeus was because I was taught that. I knew who St. John the Baptist was because I was taught that. And I know many of my friends who went to Booker T. Washington and many of my friends who went to
Well, let me take some calls that we don't.
Carver knew the history of George Washington Carver.
Good morning. Who's this? Yes. Not, I don't believe it should be taught to anybody except in college level. No? Well, none of them would ever been charged of being a traitor.
He was a traitor.
Well, again, that's your perspective. I think people back in those days, listen, I didn't agree with everything that again, being from up north, I really never had an issue with this whole Confederacy thing. I thought that was
still segregation.
Right. I thought
Because I just told you First LeVon Jr. went to a school in your state.
But we didn't ever, that I can remember from high school, we didn't get into, except for the basic components of the Civil War. We didn't live it. I got down
Didn't
here.
know the fact.
I got down here in '91, and I still got people celebrating in Selma. So, hey, Well, sure I have. I didn't know anything about that guy named Forrest somebody, whatever his name was. Yeah. Wait a minute. You wouldn't have heard it had he not put it had he not been on the air with me to put it there. So I don't necessarily agree with his definition, but yeah. No. All right. Hey, appreciate it. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, sir. I'm always having a great day. Every day above ground is a great day, and this is one of those Wednesdays I get to hear you. I may have.
I'll take him.
Magnanimous. I forgot about that.
That's my name.
Yeah, magnanimous. Yeah. Law magnanimous.
Well, why would I want to make him law magnanimous?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah.
Right. He was a chemist. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. No, I don't think that, but what I'm saying, I'm just talking about school pride. And students should learn.
Both y'all can't talk.
Okay. Yeah, I'm talking about school pride. That's all. And if you're proud of your school and the valedictorian of Percy LaVon.
Now both of y'all can't talk at the same time. Now
he's saying the same.
Okay, but let me agree with Donald. Right. Let me agree with Donald on George Washington was a traitor.
Sir, was Robert E. Lee a traitor? Look, we're dealing with Robert E. Lee and Percy LaVon Julian. West Point. He was at West Point. Here's where Robert E. Lee went wrong. When Abraham Lincoln asked Robert E. Lee, would he lead his army? Robert E. Lee said, "So Virginia goes, so I go." And that's when Lincoln took his property too.
Yeah. Well.
He had a lot of them. As a matter of fact, he had one of the largest plantations in Virginia. He didn't, sir. No, he didn't. He inherited the slaves from his wife. And do you know what his plantation was? It was the Custis Plantation, which is now Arlington Cemetery, sir. Sir, you don't have a brain because do you know his very own sister-in-law sued him?
Okay, well, I see both of you guys can't talk at the same time.
No, because sir, look and see who his sister-in-law was. Maria Syphax. Look that up since you like to go on the internet. Sir,
I think he met. What's up with manumit? Didn't he?
No, his father-in-law told him to manumit them, and they sued him because he did not manumit them when he was supposed to. Okay. That was from the Syphax. Look, well, let's go on the internet.
Okay,
I can tell you more.
Enough of that conversation.
Yeah.
Good morning. Who's this? Good morning. Morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah. Who, me? Yeah. I don't call them traitors. I don't. Yeah. I don't think Robert Lee took. I don't think Robert Lee took the. Wait a minute, I don't think Robert Lee took that oath.
He did.
Okay.
He went to West Point.
Oh. Well, okay, and he may have felt that we had a bunch of domestic people that was dealing with the
I just told this other caller when President Lincoln asked him would he lead his army, he said no. So
his allegiance was to Virginia.
That's right.
At that
which
time.
was against the United States of America.
Okay, well listen, we all can disagree. We all okay, what? Listen, again, I believe that people. No. Listen here. Well, let me give you my point here before I got to go. I think in America we have a right to redress grievances against the people. That we are governed of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Did the Confederacy go against the Constitution? Yes or no?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We ain't talking about military.
Yeah.
We talking about citizens.
No, Robert E. Lee went against his oath.
And you remember, and you also remember part of our training was this. We have the right to disobey an order that we feel is immoral or illegal if you're willing to take the consequences. Evidently, they thought that something was wrong.
Did President Lincoln ask him to do anything immoral or illegal?
Depends on your perspective.
No.
There are consequences.
No.
That's right.
No.
Where is he? Wait a minute. Where is he labeled as a traitor in the history books of America?
I just told you.
Now that's your opinion.
That's not an opinion.
Give me where
if the President of the United States asked you, he asked you, will you lead my army? And you say, no, I'm going to go against your army.
Okay.
That is a traitor. That is
was he officially named a traitor?
Yes.
Where?
He was pardoned.
He was pardoned. Well, hell, if he was
that
pardoned,
means you've done it wrong. You've done something wrong, so I tell you he's a traitor.
And we forgave him.
No, I didn't. That was a political position.
Again, the word traitor is political.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's in the Constitution.
The Constitution is political.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
That's what any other country would have done.
Wait a minute. I heard, wait a minute, we talking about the same military that took a guy who walked off his post, okay, and he didn't get shot in the head, put his fellow soldiers in harm's way. Wait. We also got one who came, but we also got a guy at Fort Hood, Texas,
You're deflecting now.
Who killed his
Let's
own
deal
people.
with the facts in front of us.
Again.
What does that fact have to do with this fact?
And they didn't get pardoned.
You're deflecting.
But Lee and them got
Deflecting
pardoned.
doesn't change the truth.
Anyway, listen.
That's changing the subject.
Listen.
Deflecting is changing the subject.
I got to take a break. We'll be about my last break in an hour. I think people have a right to full redress or to disagree with their government. I think they do. That's just me. If they don't think that it's doing right,
if you go against the Constitution, it's called traitor.
No, the Constitution gives us the right to disagree with our government.
Did he follow the Constitution when Lincoln asked him that question?
I didn't know if he had a copy of it at that time. We'll be back right after this.
That's a good one. Why you good? You're consistent. Oh, you know what? You can dig a hole and you just keep putting more dirt on.
I don't
you
know
keep digging that hole, bro.
I don't know if
you
ain't
hey.
But Thomas Jefferson once said that the tree of freedom needs to be pruned every once in a while by the blood of patriots.
Well,
in other words,
who were the Patriots?
Were
the Confederates?
Now we can.
Or the Union?
We can.
Who were the Patriots?
Who
were the Patriots? Was it the Union or the Patriots?
I just don't know.
You had a Union Army, you had a Confederate Army.
Don't know.
The Union Army, the Confederate States of America. See, the difference between you and I is I have read the Constitution of the United States of America. The Constitution of the Confederate States of America.
Yeah.
There's one paragraph that's different.
And it's slavery.
And that means that each state will control
but the Southerners, who started this whole slave thing?
Hold on.
Who started the whole slave thing?
Hold on. slavery was in the entire nation at one time.
Exactly.
The country started on
So
slavery.
I ain't gonna blame.
But at some, hold it. But that came from England.
I agree with you.
England did away with slavery and transporting of slaves in 1830. Okay. And then the United States, that country, the colonizers over here, they decided to keep it. Because they found out, oh man, it's good. We get rid of the folks that are here. And Andrew Jackson, oh man, you talking about Andrew
Listen,
Jackson.
if you think I am for people who used to enslave people, of course, but I am for the principle of citizens having the right to redress grievances to their government when that government gets.
And there is a way to redress your grievance.
Maybe so.
But when you take up arms against your country, that is called being a traitor. That is called treason.
I'm going by what Thomas Jefferson said, who's one of the founding members of that Constitution.
Okay, but you have misconstrued.
Oh.
Because it does not mean that you take up arms against your country. If you have grievances against your country, you choose representation that represents you because we are a constitutional republic. You have representation that goes up there and says, this is what we have. Now, if they had gone before Congress and said, let's debate this issue on slavery, that's one thing. But they knew that wasn't going to happen because there were too many immigrants coming in that slavery was detrimental to employment. Because why would you hire a person and pay them by the week when you can buy a slave for $1,000 and you never have to pay it again?
I understand that. It was wrong.
It was wrong.
But we've done a lot of things wrong in this country.
But see, Kevin, you sound like a
we
person
killed babies for 50 years in America under somebody's right.
Look, hold on. And now you're
That's
talking,
worse than
hold on,
slavery.
hold on.
That's
Here's
worse
what
than
you
slavery.
have now is called a religious belief.
No.
Yes,
it's a pragmatic belief.
No.
You don't kill your citizens.
Hold on.
Here's
what it is. Is a fetus a citizen?
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes.
No, it doesn't, because it doesn't
Yes.
vote.
He is a human being.
No, it is a potential. Here's what you have. Here's the problem, kid. It is potential life.
Life is process.
No, hold on.
It's all part of the
here's
same
Here's the
process.
difference. Here's the difference. There are fundamental Christians who believe that life starts at fundamental Christianity believes that life begins
at conception.
Then there is now that's a religious belief.
I think it's a
Now,
scientific
hold on,
belief.
hold on,
It's a
hold on,
scientific
hold on,
belief.
hold on. Well,
It's not religion.
technically, you're not born until you breathe. Technically, you have a birth date. The birth date is not your date of conception. Your birth date is the day you breathe air.
You came into the right.
When you go,
But it's all part of the process.
But everyone doesn't believe that. And this is where we get into the problem. There are the majority of the world doesn't believe that. The majority believes that the majority of the world. Now let's leave out the same Christians who enslave folks are the same Christians who are adamant about anti-abortion. I find that very ironic.
Manage heart failure. Go to riseabovehf.org.
You care about people before they're born, but after they are born, you have different degrees.
But it's
for
the
them.
parents.
But
It's
that's
the parents' responsibility to
but
take care of their kids.
but what I'm saying, that's a whole nother subject.
Anyway, all right then, we're back. It's 7:54 in the morning. If you got to be there by 8 o'clock, you got about 6 minutes by which to arrive. Donna always, at least it ain't boring when you show up. Anyway, 860-1440. We're talking about a lot of things, but now to the basic premise that you put forth, I'm in agreement with you. I don't think you just named something to satisfy somebody's political agenda.
Right.
If you name it, give it purpose. Okay.
That's what I'm here for today.
Yeah.
There is a purpose for the names of both of them.
Right.
And what is that purpose? And if the students understand that purpose and the general citizenry out there understand that purpose, then we can all be in agreement. But if we go on and we talk about the donkey and Andrew Jackson and all of that, let's talk about these two individuals and these two schools.
Well, it's like four individuals.
And Well, yeah, but I'm talking about the two right now to keep it from getting,
Well,
because that gets into a whole,
What two you
Robert E. Lee and Percy LaVon Jr. That's the two I was talking about today.
Yeah.
Now that gets to another, see, it keeps it simple if we go into that, just that two. We're talking about two individuals. So therefore, we're not talking about Andrew Jackson. We're not talking about anyone else.
You have been born and raised in this city. Most of the people who teach in our schools probably are from here, are close by. Why haven't they? And why are you telling me that the school board didn't know who they was naming it after?
Look, the school board knew who they were naming it after back during the first part of desegregation. Okay, there was a reason for it. Okay, it was like a slap in the face to desegregation. Okay, let's face it, that's what it was. That's who was in charge at the time. But now we have another. We can't correct what happened then, but we can correct what we do now. Going forward, let's do things in a positive direction. And I don't want to sully the name because you said you hadn't heard of Percy LaVon Jr. What I want to do is make sure that when I leave this microphone today, anyone who hears my voice, that they will go out and not just take my word for it, but look it up. But here's the problem. The internet does not give all of the information.
It's there.
But it doesn't have all of the information. And it has incorrect information. Because first of all, they don't tell what his elementary and secondary education was. No matter where you go on the internet, I cannot find that. It's not there. So therefore, I have the information from another source, which comes directly from articles and things from Montgomery, Alabama. And that's from, I'll give credit. They too call Alabama home. That's Dr. Richard Bailey, who has done extensive research on persons from Alabama, that Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, etc. And Percy LaVon Jr. was one of those that he has extensive research on. And unlike the internet, you can look and see where he got the information from. And that's what's so much better than the internet. When you get Wikipedia, it doesn't tell you where the information comes from. It's just information that's out there. Someone put it up there. And if someone else comes in and corrects it, fine. But I'm giving you information that is directly from articles and publications in Montgomery, Alabama. And a lot of the history was recorded originally in Montgomery.
In your mind,
yes.
Does anybody who disagree with our government betray?
Kevin, we're specifically talking about an insurrection.
No, okay,
the insurrection, the Civil War was an insurrection. Is that?
I just asked you a question.
I'm saying the Civil War was an insurrection.
Again, that's not the question.
Do you agree or disagree with that? You're taking it into a generality.
No, yeah, but
I'm specific.
Yeah.
The Civil War was an insurrection which started in Montgomery, as a matter of fact. The order to fire on Fort Sumter was given from downtown, right across the street from where we are.
Okay, I got it.
And that was illegal.
Okay, that's good. That's what we call a deflection. We'll be back.
WSFA 12 News Update on News Radio 1440.
That's not a deflection. That's explaining the point.
Okay, I hear you.
I'm talking about insurrection.
But I'm asking you though.
Was the firing on Fort Sumter, was that an act of insurrection?
It may be. I think it was an act of disagreement. People, we had one group of people. We had one group of people who did not believe.
That is a threat to the United States of America from people inside. At that point, you know what that was?
Who they fired on?
That was.
It didn't have black folks.
An act of terrorism.
But it didn't help us around who they fired on. Should they fire it or not?
No, Kevin, you're deflecting me. I'm talking. You asked me a question.
It didn't help us. We had two sides of the same coin.
Former President Donald Trump is formally launching the 2024 presidential campaign. He made an announcement yesterday from his Mar-a-Lago resort in front of a large crowd, including wife and families. The former president's third run at the White House. I'm Jasmine Williams, and these are your
WLWI-AM, the home of the Ben Shapiro Show, and heard on 95.1 HD3 FM, Montgomery, the Cumulus Media Station. This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg says it appears a missile strike in Poland yesterday was not an intentional act by Russia, but was caused by Ukraine's air defenses. However, he's not letting Russia off the hook completely.
This is most likely Ukrainian air defense systems or missiles, but this is not Ukraine's fault. Russia bears the responsibility for what happened in Poland yesterday because this is a direct result of the ongoing war.
Retail sales were up 1.3% last month from September, a sign of consumer resilience as the holiday shopping season begins. The increase was led by car sales and higher gas prices. But CBS's Jim Krasula says Target announced weak profits this morning.
It's being called unexpected and potentially ominous for the industry. A slowdown in customer spending ahead of the holiday shopping season cut third quarter profits at Target 52%. The retailer was forced to slash prices for Americans who are feeling the squeeze of inflation.
The mother of one of the students shot Sunday at the University of Virginia says her son was seriously wounded. This is Brenda Hollins.
What I'm hearing is Mike made it off the bus, but went back to help his friends and was shot. He was shot in the back, exited through his stomach.
3 students were killed. The suspect is scheduled to be arraigned at this hour. Former President Trump said last night he's going to make another run for the presidency. But CBS's Major Garrett says this time he won't have his oldest daughter by his side.
After the speech, Trump's daughter Ivanka posted on Instagram that while she loves her father, she will not, quote, be involved in politics. The statement did not mention her husband, Jared Kushner, who, for the 2 previous Trump campaigns, was a key political advisor.
A federal judge has told the administration to lift Trump-era asylum restrictions. More on that from CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya Galvez.
Under this court ruling, border officials will either have to detain them in holding facilities, or border officials will have to release migrants and instruct them to see a judge or an immigration official at a future court date.
The prominent actor is facing more criminal charges in Britain.
I'm Vicky Barker in London. Britain's Crown Prosecution Service says it's charging Kevin Spacey with a further 7 sexual offenses involving 1 alleged victim. The 63-year-old goes on trial here next June over 5 other sexual assault allegations related to 3 men. He insists he's innocent.
A 76-year-old man convicted of killing 2 people in 1980 is scheduled to be executed in...
Because nobody can make dressing the way dressing used to be made, except the old school. I gotta bring some for the potluck or lunch here.
Oh yeah.
Someone's. So can you cook dressing?
Let me.
You can cook dressing.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, cook me some dressing for the thing Friday.
I thought it was tomorrow.
No, it's Friday.
Something costs less, but people are
Make dressing.
That sounds
I
like
will
something
try.
we can
I'll buy it if I know
I
it's
don't
good.
want you to buy it. I'm gonna try to cook it. I'm be so tired in the evening. But listen, let me know when you get ready to go. I fed your meal.
Oh yeah, I don't never put money in that. I ain't put money in there in 15
Okay,
years.
but see, you got a little sign on yours. I got $60 worth of tickets.
Really?
I'm waiting on them to stop me any day.
Wait, but we got a thing across the street you can park in. Yeah,
Across from the front of the bank?
No, on the side over there, right out of the garage, right there, where all the vans are.
Oh, I do park over there. But you know, in the morning, I don't want to.
The problem is you ain't Kevin Elker.
I see. I know that. That's why I came to you to say, let me know so I can move my car. I'm right on the side.
But if you move your car, then they're still gonna give you a ticket.
No, I'm gonna put some more money in it.
Okay.
I already put $2 in.
Okay.
On yours.
Okay. On mine? Wait, but you don't know mine, bro.
Because I was rushing and trying to get all my.
Oh, is your car next to mine?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So just let me know. So
I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, don't ever make the mistake. Thank you, me.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that.
I'm just saying. Okay. It took me 20 years down there to become me.
The prices were eclipsed by the amounts
Okay.
I'm gonna really try to do
I can get somebody to make somebody because you work hard enough up here already. I'll get some.
I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna try to do it. Let's see.
Because I like my cousins around here, but they don't eat black people.
Well, I'm gonna eat black food.
Mm.
Take all of it.
Listen, I'll buy the stuff. If you want me to buy the stuff, I'll get the stuff. I'll give you the money to get the stuff.
I get up early, so Friday morning, I'll do it.
You gonna make the dressing on Friday morning?
Yes, I am.
You can make dressing that quick?
Cornbread at night to put in there.
Okay. What you want me to bring? I'll bring some. What do you want me to bring?
I mean,
No, I don't know. Just tell me. Tell me what to bring. I'll bring.
no, I just gotta go and get more cornmeal and.
Look, I got $2 on there.
Yeah, Because, you know,
Wait, I ain't got it right now, but I'll.
I'll change enough though, I can just keep that, right? Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yo, man, what am I gonna do with you?
I'll bring that $2.
My last $2.
Oh, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, what?
Yes, sir, Bob.
What? Someone agreeing with you?
Most people agree with me with common sense. You're just not so common.
You're right. I'm not common.
Yeah, you're not common.
Common sense is not so common.
That's true.
Yeah, you love to deflect, which changes the conversation to another subject. But I see you don't understand what the meaning of a trader is.
No. I don't know what your meaning is.
You're an apologist.
No,
you're the black apologist.
No, I'm a patriot.
You're the black-white apologist.
I'm a patriot.
No, you're not. You're the black-white apologist.
Okay, what would you say?
If you
about
say
it?
that the people who started the Civil War were patriots, that means you're a black-white apologist. Even they can't say it. They don't say it.
Well, and that's fine. But you know, first of all, none of it helped black folks.
Well, it did. It's just that it didn't go far enough.
Yeah,
What it did to free the slaves. Okay, here you have millions of people who don't have any education, no property, nothing,
True.
and say, okay, you're free. And they look around and say, free to do what?
But again, they have a bunch of white folks
That's
that did the
why.
same thing.
No,
They
no,
had
you
the same
didn't. No,
thing.
they didn't. No, white people have
You
freedom.
think all white
No,
people have
hold
property?
up. Hold up. Here's what you had. If you had all these people who were slaves,
Yeah.
they had nothing.
Right.
All they had was the clothes on their back.
Right.
And now you tell them you're free. And it's free to do what? So you know what a lot of them did?
Went back to it. Went back to it.
And that's where sharecropping.
Right. And I got you.
And which was another form of slavery.
Yeah. But
You get what I'm saying?
At least you
So the
volunteered.
United States, unlike when they incarcerated the Japanese in California,
They did pay.
they did pay them.
Sooner or later, they gave us
See that, and that's when that conversation on reparate. But that's so far removed. It's because if you've got black folks like you who say that, oh, they were patriots. See, then you
I didn't
can't
say they
justify
were patriots, but I don't believe they were traitors. I think they were fighting
Well,
for
see,
what they
as
fought.
long as you say they were
What
not traitors,
they
to the
fought for
United-
what? Listen, you can be wrong. You can do the right thing for the wrong reason.
If you take up arms against the United States, you're a traitor.
Well,
You're a threat. They
were
were a domestic threat.
When did the
It
Civil
is
War
no
start?
different.
The Civil War started in 1863.
Yeah, 1863. There's no
Uh-huh.
difference between if Mexico had done the same thing. People in Mexico, what would you call that?
Getting the hell out
They
of
said that's their property.
because their
It
government,
was originally.
their government is corrupt.
Because during that time,
And you have a
Texas-
right.
We
you have a
we
duty.
annexed part of Mexico and called it Texas.
Okay. But I am with you on people should know why they name things what
Right.
they name them.
Right.
Yeah, I am agree with you on that. And it would be a great idea to teach
There
those
should be
kids
a
why they're
pamphlet. In other words, all of the information I have here should be in a pamphlet and a booklet. That every student who goes to that school, that's money
Should-
well worth spending.
It is. I agree
To
with you
say
on
this is what now. If they want to learn about Robert E. Lee, the other side, that's up to them. You know, if you're doing a vice versa.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you need to know what you're doing and why you're doing it.
All right then. And good morning, everybody. Hope this day finds you well, finds you feeling good. Our show's been brought to you this hour by JL Lane Truck and Auto, JL Lane Truck and Auto. Online inventory. You can buy there. You can pay there. You got cars that I can send my mother over there to get a car if she was with us. I'll send your mom over there to get a car. Okay. It's a great place to do business. Mr. Lane and those guys over there and Steve are great people. I've done business with them for years. You know, I don't normally put my name on advertisements unless I've actually done business with the individual I'm talking about. And I've done business with JL Lane Truck and Auto for years. Okay. 272-4313, 272-4313. Online inventory, go to the website, jlanetruckandauto.com, jlanetruckandauto.com, all one word, except the .com, they got to put a period, C-O-M right there, okay? Online inventory, go check them out right now. All the cars have been checked from the front bumper to the back tail light. No problem. The only time you're going to bring that car back is when you want to trade it up to a newer model. Okay? They've all been inspected. So go see them when they open up, 9 o'clock. Or give them a call first, 272-4313. And if you go on the website, look for their cars, and you don't see what you're looking for, call Steve and see if we can get it for you. 272-4313, 272-4313. And if they don't have it, trust me, they'll get it for you if it's to be gotten someplace. Donald Jenkins is with us this morning, so it's an interesting conversation with Donald. Most times he's wrong, but that's okay. You know, I'm here to correct him. Let's go to the phone and see who is there. Okay. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. I'm doing fine.
Just fine, sir. How about yourself? Well, I don't argue with people on that. I just say you have a different perspective. That's all. His perception is different. Your perception is based on what.
I'm a northerner. You guys been in the South too long.
No, you're not a northerner. You're from the Midwest.
That's closer to the north than it is the South.
No, it's closer to the South than it is the north.
Well, okay, whatever. Yeah. Yes. 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 Now, when we don't, I didn't know nothing about integration until I came down here in '91. I didn't know nothing about it.
It's segregation.
I mean, I heard about it, but I
Segregation.
didn't segregate. I didn't know nothing about it. No.
And that was assimilation. Wasn't integration.
Okay. I mean, y'all got issues down here.
No, you have them up there too.
Yeah, we had a couple. Yeah. Sometimes it is. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you. Okay, I appreciate your counseling there. Yeah, you know, everybody needs good counseling every once in a while. 860-1440. But again, Donald's talking about the naming of the schools, and I do not disagree. I think before the name goes on the school, I believe that this information about who they're named after should be dispensed to every student in that school, or else we just naming the school for a political reason. If it's not for educational
that's
reasons,
the way it seems.
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying it's important to know who the individual is. What was his accomplishment? Why are you doing that? And what is his connection to Montgomery? And that's why I said he attended Alabama State Normal School, which became Alabama State Teachers College, and then he went on to DePaul. And as a matter of fact, the mathematics and engineering department of DePaul University is the Percy LaVon Julian Mathematics Department in engineering.
Yeah.
And then in Chicago, there is a school that was renamed Percy LaVon Julian. It's a high school in Chicago. So we shouldn't have a problem where he comes from, where he got started. And we should not be arguing about that. We should understand who he was, what he went through, and in spite of, and he wasn't a football. People know Herschel Walker and they know Bo Jackson. They know these football players, you know, Irving, Magic Johnson. Those are famous people to most people because they're on the television and they're stars in sports. But he was a star in his field of chemistry and in business because he became a millionaire. And a very famous.
you're wrong about it. But DePaul University is in Chicago. I mean, it is.
DePaul.
DePaul.
No, DePaul.
Who?
I pronounce all of my consonants. I left. It is with vowels. DePaul.
Spell that. DEPAW.
Google it.
DEPAW.
Google it. That's why I asked.
DEPAUL.
I pronounce my words very carefully.
DePaul is how it's
DePaul.
Right.
I did not leave off a consonant.
DePaul University is in Chicago.
DePaul. I did not say DePaul.
What the hell is DePaul?
I just told you.
Never heard of it.
I know you haven't.
DAPAW? DePaul?
DePaul University. Kevin.
Just say you stepped on, okay?
No, I didn't.
Just say you stepped on it.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
There's no university named DePaul.
Yes, it is. Look it up.
I'm looking at it right now. DePaul. DePaul University.
That's because you can't spell. I said DePaul. Kevin.
Good morning. Who's this?
Kevin, I'm telling you, you're laughing, but I have the last laugh.
D.A. what?
I told you that.
D what? Never heard of it.
And you're from Indiana.
Never
That's
heard
what
of
I'm
it.
saying. You're from Indiana.
I know
You've
about
never heard of
I know
DePaul.
about DePaul. Oh,
And that's about football and basketball.
hold on. D.A. what? P.D.E. Okay. D. Oh, well, she's a Hoosier too? Hey, that's not a bad name either.
Magnum.
I mean, some
they come in a gold pack.
Yeah. Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, they do. Anyway, I never heard of that university. DePaul, I never heard of that.
That's what I'm saying. And you should know.
Well, not really. I was listening.
And if you look up Percy LeVon Julian and DePaul, you put it together.
Well, see, we all learned something today. I
Yeah.
learned something because I knew about DePaul, but I didn't know about
But
DePaul.
see, DePaul University was one of those universities that Black
Oh,
Americans could go to.
it's a private liberal arts college. That's why I never heard of it.
What does that mean?
I mean, I don't get into that liberal arts thing. I don't get into that. You know, they don't
What
really
does that
teach.
mean?
They don't really teach anything.
He learned chemistry. He learned chemistry. He
That must have
majored
been
in chemistry.
that must have been because liberal arts means liberal arts.
Look, Kevin, that's
Yeah.
what.
You know, it's a private liberal arts university in Greencastle, Indiana. Okay, but good for him though. Good for him. I never.
And where did he go after that?
Well, I don't know. I don't really.
He
care about
received his master's.
Yeah.
At Harvard.
You know, I'm too busy writing my own story to worry
No,
about
what I'm telling you, Kevin,
Yeah.
and I was telling you, that's where the mathematics and engineering department is known. Okay, it's known in the world of academia, and especially because it was one of those universities that Black people could go to in the early part.
Well, I didn't run in that
as
world,
well
so.
as Harvard, but Harvard still had segregation there because he could not teach the Southern students. That's why he did not. He was not accepted in the world of academia, and he was not paid for it. So therefore,
Well,
he went
they
to
screwed
the
him over,
industrial world.
right? They screwed him
And
over.
that's
I mean,
where
that's
he
where
got
it is.
his job, and he received.
Yeah, I went to college
the
with Harvard.
ability to go,
Yeah.
and he received a partial scholarship to go to Vienna.
Well, I went
So,
to college at
in
Hard
other words,
Knocks. Hard
he
Knocks,
could go
so we're good.
outside of the United States of
Sure,
America
sure.
and receive his PhD, but could not go to a school in the state of Alabama and do the same thing.
I understand. I've just.
So you get what I'm saying?
It
So
was
I'm
what it was.
So
was.
what I'm saying is, in spite of.
Yeah, it was what it was.
In
And that's
spite
the
of that.
message that I try to get to people sometimes. In spite of there are people who have been successful in this country, black, white, immigrant, who got a raw deal.
Right.
But they didn't stop. They kept going. So we cannot lean
So
on
he-
the past forever
So that's
for
what
our
I'm saying.
failure.
He is a perfect example to students, no matter what.
Yeah.
And if the students know, this guy couldn't even go to school in Alabama. He had to go all the way to Indiana, to DePaul University.
See, my home state.
He qualified
That's right.
very well to go to the University of Alabama.
So
but he couldn't.
So
because
Indiana was a better place than Alabama for black people.
Well, it was a private school.
Well, private school, whatever.
See, and that's mainly where students would go to the north to private school.
Okay, you from the U.S. Oh, yeah, all right. Well, you learned something there. I never heard of that school till today.
Right.
Then again, there's a lot of schools I never heard
But
of.
you have heard of Harvard, haven't you?
Sure.
And
sure.
that's where he received. And what's important is after going to that school and being the valedictorian,
I'm trying to figure out.
he went to Harvard.
I can't figure
And
why they
it's,
charge people to come to Harvard. They got endowments.
It
that
is
are
a private school.
Yeah, but they
That
still
is why
charge.
they have it.
They got endowments, $1 billion endowment. I mean, why they even charge people to go there?
Because, well, they don't have to. If you can receive an academic scholarship to go there. If you and it is a very high standard to receive one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Again, ain't that what
This
Bush?
is the largest, is the largest endowment in the world.
Bush went to Harvard.
Bush went to Yale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, all these endowments and poor brothers can't even get in school for free. Anyway.
Well, it's a private school.
I know. That just
And the
that's
reason
what
they have an endowment is because
people give them money.
People who give it. I tell you one way you can go free to Harvard. If your mother or father went to Harvard, and you do not make over $100,000 a year, your child can go to Harvard free. They said, look, if you did something wrong, if you're not making any money, you can't afford to pay tuition, we'll let you just go free. But Stanford does that. Several of those colleges. If you graduate from Yale, Harvard, Stanford, and you do not make a certain amount of money, you can apply for a scholarship for your child to go there. To say, I didn't make it, and I can't afford my child to make it here. So let's do it again. Let's try it again.
I think you ought to get a rebate. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, sir. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Yeah, he had several lawsuits against Syntex, against what was the big DuPont. DuPont, he worked for DuPont for a little while, and they stole a lot. Well, actually, like this guy that talks about the automobile, they were actually his ideas, but because he was working for DuPont and Glidden, they tried to they didn't pay him for it. So he said, and that's why he started his own company. Well, several of his companies, and that's how he became a millionaire. And he had over 110 patents. And steroids is one, and one of those is the steroids we have today. Right. Well, he taught at Howard, but the money just wasn't, and you can't blame him for that, for his education and for his ability and knowledge. They did not have the money for research and the things that he wanted to do. So I don't think it was jealousy. They just didn't have the support for the kind of research that he wanted to do. No, he never gave up. In spite of. Right. Yeah, well, he sold a lot of his patented ideas to those companies, to Glidden, DuPont, Syntex, and a lot of the medicines we take today, like steroids and the drugs for male problems, that came from his discovery. Mhm. Right. I think I think he's right up there, if not surpasses George Washington Carver. The difference between he and George Washington Carver is he got paid for what he did. George Washington Carver gave everything away free. And I think that's not why we hear about him as much, is because he demanded to get paid for what he did. Yes. Mm. Right.
All right, appreciate it, appreciate it. Yeah, he, according to his so he never lived in Montgomery.
Yes, he did. That's incorrect. That's why I told you, you're looking at Wikipedia.
No, I'm looking at on their website, on DePaul's web.
It doesn't list it.
Right, don't.
That's why I'm saying it's
He said he
incomplete.
was born in Birmingham.
Lived in Montgomery, okay.
Okay,
And he went, that's why I'm
it
telling you.
doesn't matter. I just
See, that's why I said it's important to get it printed out so you will know where the information comes from. You don't know where that information came from.
Okay.
What I'm looking at,
Well,
I
they
can
got it
tell.
on DePaul University.
That's DePaul University.
I mean,
You're looking at a partial. I'm giving you the full context of where he went to elementary school.
Okay, I don't really care about
Because
that.
what I'm saying, Kevin, is this is what needs
if,
to be talked.
If
See,
I can't go
because
to
if
if I can't
that's
go
what
to their website,
that's what I'm here today. And you know what?
Yeah.
I looked on the internet and I saw what you saw. I said, this is an incomplete history of who he is.
But how
and
do
what
we know
he
that
is.
you know?
Because I have it.
But that's another book.
No, what it is based on this comes from that. And you can go to the articles. They're all at the archives of Alabama.
Okay.
And the difference between you and I is I have read the articles that are actually at the archives in Alabama. And it says this. I read the article that says this. And this compilation that I have here from Dr. Bailey is just a condensed version of all of the articles and all of those booklets that have been about Percy LaVon Julian. What you have on the internet is just a few sentences, maybe a paragraph of a partial, which is incomplete.
Okay, I'm good.
And there's a difference.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. All right, I'm just saying what
That's
the book
why I
says.
say the internet is good, but it's incomplete. It only has the information that is
We'll
put in.
be back. He was born in 1899.
Yeah, 1899. His 100th birthday celebration was at Alabama State.
Interesting.
See, Kevin, the difference between reading and out of hard copy. See, here's what happens. See, everything that's written here, it will name the article and when it was published here. Because see, Dr. Bailey didn't make it up. He copied down and he paraphrased it, and whatever, if it's his actual words or Percy Vaughn's, it'll be in quotation. But everything else is from here. And he has to denote where he got that information from. Because if he didn't, that would be called plagiarism. That would mean he would plagiarize this article, but he didn't. He gave credit to where this information comes from.
Well,
So that's why I'm saying
it's only plagiarism if he uses
If he takes-
exactly the way it is
if he
written.
takes credit for it
Right.
being his production.
Right.
You can rewrite anything, but you have to give credit to the person who wrote it. That's when you put it in quotation marks. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of each article about an individual, he has to state where he got that information from.
Anyway, White House officials did stress that he didn't have COVID. What do you
Nobody's asking if he had COVID. Why did he change his schedule at the last minute and bail out on a gala dinner, a China Summit gala dinner, where he was to be the guest of honor? That's the question, and they don't have a good answer for it. So, what's Joe now going to do? What is Poland going to do? What is NATO going to do? Some of you might disagree and say we should just stay out of it. I just don't think he's up to the task of dealing with any of this. That's the problem.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
There's something about the cooler weather and something about fall that makes you want to make your house feel like a home. Well, that's why my fall project is getting new custom window treatments from my friends at Blinds.com. Now, Blinds.com has a premium selection of blinds and shades and shutters and drapes. Shipping is always free. I go to Blinds.com right now and save up to 45% off site-wide. Up to 45% off everything when you go to Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines will find you, and customers won't know.
I got to do something anyway.
And not your competitors. Boost your findability.
How you doing?
CUMUS.com.
Okay, so we'll call this the combined gift from us. Yeah, okay, yeah. Hit that one time. Yeah. Nothing wrong with dreaming, brother. Nothing wrong with dreaming.
Another interesting fact. See, at that time when he was going to Alabama State Normal School, he only went to the 8th grade. But when my grandfather went to, you learn teachers training and elementary education and secondary education by the 8th grade. So he didn't go to high school, really, because they didn't have what we call high school. But you had the training in the 8th grade. An 8th grader from Alabama State Teachers College was the equivalent of a person who had gone to high school. Because my grandfather, my grandfather went to Swain College, which later became Booker T. Washington. When he went to Alabama State, he was exempt from calculus because he had already had it in the 8th grade at Swain College. Because there was really he went to Alabama State Teachers College. They taught you to be a teacher. Your only job you could get at Alabama State was to be a teacher back in 1938. Or 35, 34, 35. See, that's something people need to do. It was a time you didn't have to go to 12 years of school.
Okay, you can tell what day it is. It's a Wednesday morning. It's second Wednesday, Monday, whatever Wednesday this is.
Third.
It's the third already?
Yes. First and third.
Where does a month go when you're having fun? 8:33 in the morning. If you want to, whatever it is you want to talk about. The police chief said that the homicide rate is down, which is good, better than being up. So I'm gonna give him some credit for that. Donald's with us. We were talking about renaming of our schools. Now, my problem with this renaming schools, I hate renaming something that will never truly be known as that. It will always be
No, that's not true.
To the people who graduated from that school, it's always going to be.
No, it's not.
Yes, it will be.
I'll give you a perfect.
Somebody ask you, what school did you graduate from? It'll be Lee.
Okay, no.
Yes, it will be.
No, it's not. Well, that's what school you graduated from.
I'm talking about whoever graduated from that school.
And that's a legacy, and legacies continue as people know them. Right. Okay, a good example. BTW.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's what most people call
Booker T. Washington. Yeah.
Booker T. Washington, right? Mm-hmm. That's the different Booker T. Washington than BTW. See, Booker T. Washington was the school that people I know that were 4 years older than me, who attended that school and received a diploma. That is not the same school. Watch this. LAMP. What is that?
Levis Academic Magnet Program.
There are people who graduated from Lanier Academic Program. LAMP was originally Lanier. It was a Lanier. When my son was going to Lanier, LAMP was on the 3rd floor. And that's where he had to take mathematics and English on the 3rd floor. Okay?
Yeah.
So
they renamed it.
They renamed it. Lovely.
But
now you see that's where those acronyms come in. So you don't know whether if a person say they went to LAMP, you don't know whether they went to Lanier.
So that's why I say build something new and name it. Not
you don't
rename
have to.
something.
No,
new.
you don't have to. It's a legacy. The legacy of Lanier is Lanier.
Right.
Okay. The legacy. See, there are people who attended Lanier, the traditional school, and there are people who attended Lanier, the magnet school.
Well, now there's going to be a Lanier Carver school pretty soon. I
don't know what it'll be. It'll probably just be Carver.
Yeah.
Because the legacy is the people who go there. It's not the building.
Okay. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, sir. Well, you know, actually, I was never in the military. I never claimed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. They tell you from. They say I'm from Birmingham. Then you find out they're from Prattville.
Yeah, they're from some place within a 50-mile radius.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, like me, I'm from Chicago. You from Wabash. But anyway, yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, you know. Then you get the guy to join. Hey, you know, my family got money. I just joined because I wanted to be independent. Okay.
I don't know any of that.
Okay. Yeah, I know some of it.
That's a whole nother subject.
Whole different discussion.
There you go.
860-14 is the number here. So what else, Smith? And did you have anything else from last week you want to talk about besides the renaming of the school?
Well, that was a good one. And I tell you what, another one you had that was interesting was when you were talking about defamation. You know, the lawsuit of the parents of the kids who were killed in the mass shooting.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I got a problem with that.
Here's the problem, Kevin. You said freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech.
We do have freedom of speech, but there's a limit. When
who puts the limit on it?
No, here's what it's called. It's called defamation. If what you say causes me harm, and I can prove that what you say caused me harm, that's defamation.
How did
you
that
can do
cause you? I thought defamation when you say something that against a person and it's an attack mode.
There you go.
And you attack.
And it causes them a hardship.
But freedom of speech is not about
defamation.
You only listening to the speech you like.
Defamation is when you tell a lie. A lie is defamation. There's liable and slander.
Mm-hmm.
There are two forms of defamation.
Mm-hmm.
There's liable and slander. One
but
is
you
written,
don't.
One
you
is
don't believe.
Do you know what? Liable. You can't get on this radio station and slander someone. If you tell a lie, that's defamation.
Well, you shouldn't lie, but the truth.
And you know what?
The truth of his own
defense.
defense.
No, that's slander.
Right.
If you tell a lie about
you tell a lie. Right.
Because that has happened here where someone sitting in that same seat you're in or that I'm in said something that was slanderous about an attorney from another station, and that person threatened a defamation lawsuit.
I remember that.
Okay.
I remember that squabble.
You have to be careful what you say.
Right. But again,
slander and liable are two offenses.
But what's his name? Jones, with Alex Jones.
It was a lie.
That
was slander and libel because
he gave an opinion.
No,
he gave
that's not an opinion.
He said, now I didn't agree with him at all. I think he was totally wrong.
He said those were actors and that it was a staged event.
Right.
That was slander. It was a lie.
However,
it was a lie.
Freedom of speech.
No, that's slander.
Speech you
Wait a
do
minute.
not like.
Was it the truth or was it a lie?
$1 billion judgment.
Hold up. Was it the truth or was it a lie?
I don't know one way or the other.
We all know it was a lie.
Well, we know
that is slander. And when he slandered, he didn't even appear in court. You see, that wasn't about the lawsuit. That was about the payment.
So
what we have now, he has not stood in court and said, he has not defended his position in court.
Right.
He defends it on his podcast, but he has not stood up in court and said, "I told the truth."
But
Kevin, did he say?
things,
Hold up.
well, I don't care what he said.
Yes, it does matter.
My problem is
did he defend himself?
I know if he showed up in court. Or
No,
not.
he didn't. So
Okay.
I'm telling you, he did not defend himself in court.
But when
so
you,
therefore, the judgment is okay. Go ahead.
When you give somebody $1 billion settlement against an individual because of something he said, wrongfully or rightfully said, I think that chills.
It's slander.
That chills freedom of speech.
Let me tell you, no, it doesn't. Slander.
It does.
It was slander. And when you tell a lie on this radio, and someone says that you did it, if you don't defend yourself, and that's what he did. He did not stand up in court. As a matter of fact, he stood up in court and said, "I'm sorry." Okay, that means he had admitted guilt, but that doesn't matter. This was a lawsuit about the damages that he caused those people because they received threats, because there are people who believe what he was saying.
But again, he's not
defamation,
right? But he's not responsible
yes,
for
he is.
idiots.
He's
that believe
responsible
things.
for what if Kevin, you are responsible.
Logic and reason.
I want you to know right now, so it won't happen to you.
Yeah.
If you are on this radio, and you say
Now
something
you think
that
I've been
is
in the business
slander,
for 30 years. You don't think I know that?
well, if you say something that is a lie, and you know it is a lie,
That's right. That's right. Then it's different world.
It's called slander.
But if I honestly said it because I thought it was true,
it doesn't matter.
Hey,
it does, and that's what his defense. But he didn't do it in court.
But freedom of speech is there to protect us from. We don't have to like what I say
and we
for it
also,
to be freedom of speech.
We also have a law that says slander.
I hear you. I hear you.
You can pay. You can say it, but you will have to pay for it.
Yeah. Well, again, there are consequences.
There are
for freedom of
consequences.
speech, and
So,
I'm with you.
so
But
he did not appear in court to defend his
well,
position.
and I think that's crazy too. He
No,
shouldn't
it's
have
not.
did that.
No, what
He
he
should've
did,
did.
look, while they were in court, he was on the podcast talking about the judge. Another charge, but the judge didn't go down that road, didn't have to worry about it. They just let everything, because he slandered the judge.
Well, okay, well, judge is a public official. He can be slandered.
But here's the problem.
Yeah.
To teach him a lesson, because he did profit off of that, they're going to make sure that he will not make a penny off of the lie that he told.
And again,
and
though,
it was a lie. It's not an opinion, it's a lie.
But again, in America, freedom, you got a right to tell a lie.
No, you don't have to. Yeah, you can tell a lie if you want to, but it's not legal to do it. Civil law, see, we have criminal law. You don't get locked up for it, right?
Right, but here's my thing. They blaming him for what his listeners do. I think that's crazy.
Well, no, it's not. He has a responsibility. You have a responsibility to your listeners. I have a responsibility. If I say something, I should know to the best of my knowledge that what I am saying is true. Everything I said today is, to the best of my knowledge, true from the factual information that I have.
Oh, somebody sent me a note here. It says, y'all arguing about a guy that died 152 years ago, whether or not he's a traitor.
I'm not arguing about it. It's a fact.
Wait. And he said he's a traitor. When the school is a failing school.
That's
today,
not the issue now. That's not what we're arguing about.
Right, but again,
what I'm talking about is naming a school after someone, and let's know who they're named, that name is, what they have done, and why you're doing it. But I'm not arguing about, if you're arguing that Robert E. Lee is a traitor, there's something wrong with you. You don't understand the Constitution of the United States. I don't care who you are.
Yeah. Well,
he was a traitor.
I'm saying that.
But we shouldn't be arguing.
I'm not calling him traitor.
Well, I am.
Yeah.
And that's a fact.
And that's
not an opinion.
And that's freedom of speech.
And that's not slander.
You got that. And then let's take a break. We'll come back. But this word failing, this word, after having conversation with multiple people yesterday in the educational institution in this state, I don't really know what that word means.
There will always be failing schools, because you'll have schools at the bottom, no matter what.
Yeah, we don't know what the word fail means.
I don't
the
know.
Bottom 6% of something. We don't know what the hell it means. It's a political term used to justify an agenda.
There you go.
Okay, so
we agree on that.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, well, let me get on the break then before you change your mind. We'll do it. Well, at least I'm wide awake now.
Say at least it's from that pumpkin coffee.
Yeah. It's hard for me to call people who fight for what they believe. They may be wrong, who fight for what they truly believe.
That's a traitor.
And it may be, but I find some,
I don't find it hard.
I think there is some.
Why was the Civil War fought?
Well, there were people who would argue with you that it was not primarily about slavery.
What was it about?
It was about the Northern encroaching upon the rights of the South.
To do what?
Well, again,
to do what?
Well, commerce. It was about money, about commerce, stuff like that.
And the commerce was what?
And I hear you. I hear you.
The commerce was. See, you're answering your own argument
because
the constant. In other words, all you have to do is read the Constitution of the Confederate States of America.
Well,
you haven't read it.
I ain't read that one, but I don't care much about that
one. But that's the difference. The one paragraph in there
but the United
that
States
says
was no better. We've had more slavery. We have more wrong done to black folks.
Deflecting. You're deflecting.
Yeah, but on
whenever
our
you
flag,
do that, I'm going to just say you're deflecting.
Well,
I'm giving you. What are we talking about? The question on the table. See, if you're debating, you're talking about an issue. Okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about another issue. Yeah. I'm not. This is how you debate. I'm saying that the individuals who wrote the Constitution of the Confederate States of America wrote it to justify
slavery.
What they were doing.
Right.
Slavery. Now, if you say the war was about something else, that's a lie.
Well, let me ask
what is the difference in their Constitution?
Were there people who founded America traitors to Britain?
Yes. We call it a revolution, wasn't
it? Well,
what is a revolution?
Well,
they just happen to win.
Oh, so the definition.
No, that's
he who gets to determine what you are is the guy who wins.
No, what do they call it?
I'm with you.
It's called the American Revolution. What is a revolution?
Well, revolution when you go against the people, then charge.
Right, that's a revolution.
I'm with you,
and they won.
So if you win, you can make the rules.
But it's according to who you go against, because there are only two countries in the world that have fought against racial slavery, and that's the United States of America and Haiti. Now you see how that turned out for them. They paid reparations to France for over 200 years, and they never recovered from it because, and most people don't realize, but if you know geography, Haiti, the entire country was Haiti. The Spaniards divided half. It was an agreement that the French and the Spanish said that this part of Hispaniola will be the Dominican Republic. This part over here that we've raped and pillaged and turned into nothing, that's Haiti. Okay? There's nothing you can do about it because France had the support of the United States, England, Germany, and all of the other countries that colonized. They say, hey, we want reparations from them from what they took our slaves. They got to pay us. And they paid them. And they only allowed the leaders in Haiti to be people who did what they said. Every leader of Haiti is over here. Well, what I'm saying is, Haiti has never really been free. No. It's been a puppet under the control of the colonizers. And the main colonizer that was responsible for holding the thumb on them was the United States. Okay?
I can believe it. I can believe that.
But see, Cuba was smart. Castro said, I got a buddy over there who you can't do nothing about. My buddy named Russia. Okay? That's the difference.
Well, you gotta make alliances with the right people.
There you go. So Cuba don't worry about the United States. You know, there's all those sanctions and all this stuff there. We paid the Castros to keep our prison there.
Yeah.
But they don't allow us any water, any electricity. And the largest desalination plant owned by the United States is at that prison.
Yeah.
That's the only water they get is seawater. Yeah. That's desalinated by the largest desalination plant in the world from the United States. A lot of people know that is the most expensive prison in the world. It costs an average.
How long are we going to keep people over there?
But only, and you know what? That's because it's a technicality. It's not on United States soil.
That's right.
So they don't have to follow the laws of the United States there. There's certain agreements, that's all.
All righty then, 860-1440 is that number here. Whatever else is on your mind this morning, you don't have to stick with our subject if you don't want to. 10 minutes, although it's 10 minutes to the hour of 9 o'clock. So 860-1440 is our number. Oh, now I'm gonna I'm going to share this with you, right? Because I think this pretty much goes to the point that I was trying to make here a little while ago. We as citizens, you will agree, one of the reasons why the Bill of Rights was made, because government can become tyrannical, and it is our duty as citizens to make sure that tyrannicalness does not exist. That is our duty as citizens of the United States of America, which is one of the reasons why the Second Amendment is so important to our survival. So, and the Second Amendment wasn't given to us to fight off an enemy from another country. The Second Amendment was given to us to make sure that our government was at arm's length when it comes to us. Now, you will agree with that, right? You don't agree with that?
No.
So you
Not
don't
the way you stated
You don't
that.
think the Second Amendment was for us to fight our government?
No.
Make sure that we didn't become tyrannical.
No, the Second Amendment was so that the people who had taken the property from the people who were already there, that they would have the weapons to fight against them. Because the people who were first here were colonizers. They were colonists.
But you don't believe that?
No, that's an interpretation that you have.
Do you believe that?
No, it was not to go against the United States.
Do
It was to go against.
Do you believe that we have a right to protect ourselves from our government?
No.
Really?
No, not through arms.
Really?
No,
And
not through arms.
the Second Amendment was in there for what reason?
To protect themselves, the colonists needed protection. All of them individually.
We didn't have a constitution
against those people who were out there against them, who they taken the land from. It wasn't against.
You don't think the whole concept of the Constitution?
That is chaos. If everyone.
Not everyone, but when government becomes tyrannical.
You want to go against the government and fight the government?
Absolutely.
Okay, now you have a constitution that has all those things in it.
It's called a Bill of Rights.
You have amendments here, right?
Right, the Bill of Rights.
Okay, you have amendments to the Constitution. And nowhere in there does it says to bear arms against the United States if you feel like they're being tyrannical to you. Where do you see that?
Okay, when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, our right, it is their duty to throw off such government, to provide new guards for their future security, such as been patient suffrage in those colonies. So
what are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm telling you that we have a not only a duty but a right to protect ourselves from an over-encroaching tyrannical government.
And who defines over-encroaching government?
It's kind of like pornography. We may not can define it, but we know it when we see it.
So what does that have to do with the subject we had today?
It's about, well, you call them traitors.
And they were traitors.
If they felt that their government was becoming tyrannical.
That's just a bunch of crap that former people who want to justify slavery and its and whatever its events after that. What you had was a revolution against the United States of America by a group of people, the majority of who did not own slaves. They just followed. And that's the danger in following people not knowing fully what their intentions were. The people who wanted to keep enslaved people there were the people who would benefit from it. Okay? The people who fought in those wars, in that war, and in those battles, did not benefit from it.
However,
but they believe that, because as long as you think there's an enemy who is out there against you, and that enemy is the United States of America, the Northerners, if you believe that, well, and you fight for it, fine. Okay? But there's a consequence if you lose.
Good morning, who's this? Hello. Oh. What does domestic enemy mean to you? Foreign and domestic, what does that mean to you? And domestic enemies.
All enemies. Say that again. Enemies.
That's right.
Okay. Who defines so is the government your enemy? Let me ask you this.
The
Is
government can be our
your
enemy.
Is the government of the United States of America your enemy?
It could be.
Hold on. Sir, let me ask you a question. Is the government of the United States of America your enemy? No. See, here's what
Now,
we
he
have
did
to be
ask you
clear on.
first. He did ask you first.
Okay, you said foreign and domestic.
And domestic.
Okay, so is the government of the our conversation is the enemy of the Confederate States of America was the United States of America. No, hold on. But my question is, and see, we're deflating and going out in another direction. Is the United States of America your enemy? Is the United States of America your enemy? That's see, our conversation is about the Confederate States of America. The enemy of the Confederate States of America was the United States of America.
Hey, let me get one more before I go, because my time just about up. Good morning, who's this? The government can be our enemy.
Is the government your enemy now?
Good morning. Go right ahead.
Sir, we're deflecting and getting into all kinds of conversation. In our conversation here, not to get into that. That has nothing to do with my conversation here. That's your conversation about the police.
But to answer the question.
But to answer the question, and this is what I have been contending all along. I have said that Robert E. Lee was a traitor to the United States of America. Let's keep it there. We're not talking about the policeman
let him
today.
say something too.
Go ahead, sir. You have no opinion?
Well, let him finish.
Sir, let me ask you this. Was there a Constitution of the United States of America during the Civil War? Okay. Was there a Constitution of the Confederate States of America? Yes, there was. The only difference in the Constitution of the United States of America and the Confederate States of America was a paragraph that said that slavery would be allowed in the states as they saw fit. That's the only difference. And that is why the Confederate States of America went to war against the United States of America. That is it.
Well, that's another story for a different day. Hey, appreciate it. Another story for a different day, but interesting conversation anyway. But I won't call them traitors.
I'll call them traitors.
I'll call them,
and that is a fact.
I'll call them disgruntled citizens.
They fought against the United States of America. They took up arms.
What happens when the United States of America fights? Wait a minute. What happens when the United States of America fights its own citizens?
Let me answer your question.
Like what happened in Washington, D.C.?
Here's what happens. They fired on Fort Sumter. The order to do that was right across the street from that building.
All right. Gotta go. We'll be back.
That was an act of terrorism.
Okay. Yes, it was. Some terrorism ain't all that bad. Anyway, we'll be gone. So we see you tomorrow. The good Lord says the same. Have a great day.
Got a call from Texas. What they want? I take them on to the
hospital.
Yeah, to the emergency room yesterday. She's in the hospital now.
So when you go to visit, she remember you?
Kind of.
Sounds kind of funny.
Not really.
I mean, ain't no sense me going to visit.
No,
I know she won't know. I know she won't know.
Hello. My name is Donald Jenkins. Hello, my name is Donald Jenkins. I received a call from